alpha, bitch!
Hello, and welcome to the Saladcast on Sunday, the 21st of September, 2025. I'm your host, Dan Train. Joining me today is Zachary Burgess.
Back in the studio.
And Robert Kemp.
And demonetized.
Yep, you've ruined
very
our
mean.
search engine optimization immediately.
The YouTube have gone back on that now, I heard. At least
have they?
The swearing within the first 30 seconds thing seems to have been reversed.
I heard someone suggest that somehow it's got like in the algorithm or whatever, it's managed to flip where if you bleep something in the first 30 seconds, that gets less algorithm now.
Wait,
so they've gone fully the opposite direction by accident, where it's like, now you can swear in the first 30 seconds, because if you bleep it instead, then it gets screwed by the algorithm.
In fact, you'd better swear. You'd better make sure there's a swear. Unless it confuses something for a beep.
Yeah.
Why is bleeping so funny? I don't know. Sometimes it enhances it and makes it funnier than if you did hear this.
Yeah, I think so.
Feel like.
Yeah, this...
Because you get to make up your own swear to put in the hole instead of
Yeah.
the actual swear.
Your own swear in the hole.
Just remind, well, it's the classic one in my head is the YouTube poop of Fresh Prince, right? Where it's just like if you just bleep the feck out of perfection, it just sounds great. Perfect.
Is bleeping universal in the West, or is it more American to bleep than? I guess they are more worried about swear words than the Brits.
Huh. I don't know.
We definitely do it though, don't we?
Yeah, because there's various times where I've been watching like panel shows or something, and sometimes it's like, this is the uncut version, we just see everything, and other times it's bleeped, and it's pretty hard to tell how you've got hold of which one. Like, I presume it's like time of air, right? But then if you're watching it on streaming service, that's not necessarily how you find that out.
Which version?
Yeah, it definitely feels like sometimes it's more heavy than others on the same show, which is interesting.
And it does seem to be almost always the same tone, or hertz.
Yeah. I wonder if there's an agreed like bleep for
Standard bleep.
I mean, you get that there are some channels that just put like a duck quack or something over it, or some other like noise. That's more of a YouTube thing rather than a standard TV thing.
YouTube, you can put whatever the fuck you want there, or nothing. Just have a blank space.
I always thought it was weird when they bleeped music. Right? I think it was like late 90s or something, and like swearing in songs was becoming more prevalent on radio tracks.
That was just dependent on how lazy they were about making the radio edits.
Yeah, I mean,
where they just cut the lines out entirely, and it's just blank, and you can tell really easily. Whereas like you're listening to a radio edit, and there's just a line where you just hear like "is" and then nothing else. There was a whole lot of something going on just then.
Yeah, but blanked is fine. Like that's like that, as in no audio. I think is better than a beep. Like the one that sticks out in my head was like the remake of Alice, who the fuck is Alice? And they bleeped it.
I mean, that sort of makes sense musically for that song to have the bleep just feel that rather than nothing. Nothing would probably make that feel really weird because it's actually kind of an important lyric.
Yeah, everyone needs to know what's going on.
But I think most people, if it goes on for more than a very short time, think that the kind of sinusoidal noise is quite annoying.
Sure, if there was a lot
tone.
Of it, yeah.
Well,
if it was like if they bleeped Azealia Banks, for instance,
it's the same.
I remember that. I was listening to the radio one morning, and they played 212,
212,
and but it was the radio edit, right? There's like almost a verse where there's next to no lyrics.
I don't think I've heard the radio edit of 212. I remember hearing it playing in like hairdressers and stuff, and it's oh my god, some of the stuff in 212 is a bit much.
Yeah, it's she's not exactly the most demure of ladies.
Because there's lines that like echo, right?
Right, yeah,
you hear them 5 times, and they're all just as bad as each other.
It ends on one, doesn't it? Like, some of the verse ends on one.
Yeah.
And,
how do you even make the radio edit of that? I'm gonna have to look that up.
They just zeroed the audio on all of the swears. And as I say, there was just a verse with like next to nothing in it, and to the point where even Nick Grimshaw at the end of it, like this is when he was on the radio. He was or on the breakfast show on Radio 1. He was like, "Yeah, that's a fun edit, isn't it?"
There's something great about 212. I know.
Oh, man, it's a banger. Yeah.
It's an absolute banger. I know, obviously, she's a weird person that just gets aggro with everyone as much as is possible. I mean, you'd think that would be hard to go up against, that particular genre is full of a lot of beefs, notoriously.
Sure, yeah.
But she is like the master at fucking starting. I was going to say starting shit, but if I could beat
please,
that.
radio edit. Tish. Right, that's the other one they do, isn't it? They just reverse the swear word, so it's like Tish.
This Tish been mine?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna ruin your snuck. Like
Snuck. Lovely.
Oh boy, that song.
But I mean,
I've got respect for
WAP
those.
is pretty ridiculous. How was the
boy.
radio edit of WAP like?
Was there a radio edit? I mean, there must have been in
That
America.
can't really exist, can it? Yeah.
Or was Anaconda bad for swears? I can't remember. I'm particularly I have quite a lot of respect for artists that go out of their way to do a re-edit for radio. Right, I'm sure there were some Eminem tracks where they actually did change lyrics here and there to make it fun. Well, even My Name Is, right, like most of that is actually reworked to some degree for the radio.
I think that got fully reworked in general because it was just straight up homophobic, right?
It might. Yeah, maybe.
Version.
Yeah, the version now might be different again. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Anyway, yeah. I only know because for some reason I know the original version, and that's the lyrics that I think of when I'm trying to do it at karaoke, and it pops up with all the other lyrics. And it's like this isn't offensive enough.
Yeah. I think Forgot About Dre has some of that as well, where it was reworked. But I think sometimes that's kind of cool because then there's like a preference. You can be like actually I think the clean version works better, and sometimes it does. Like sometimes the flow actually sounds nicer in the clean version. But yeah, good on you for putting the effort in. Hey, you want to take a musical tangent for a moment? Not that we're not already on one, but I got another one for you.
Tangent.
I watched that there K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, I've heard good things.
I cannot get the music out of my head.
Excellent.
Man, that film, it's like 80% great. And the final, it's oh man. So it comes out of...
Is it made for... Who's it made for?
It was made for
I know
Netflix.
But I mean, like, audience-wise.
Oh, audience-wise. Good question.
It's crossed over, right? It's better than it kind of deserves to be or whatever.
Sure.
But was it made for, like, teenagers or...
I don't know. I've seen a lot of, like, really young... Like, when I take Milesy to the playground and things like that. Like, I've come across, on multiple occasions, like, fairly young kids just blaring it on their phone.
Right.
And to which point I'm like... I think you seem quite young to have a phone, and also,
right, yeah,
and also you're just on the swings playing K-pop. That's weird, or weird to me to some degree.
Modern world,
yeah, yeah. So I don't necessarily know what demographic they go for, but like I guess in those regions, right, the demographic is all ages, right, because that's how idol groups kind of work in Japan and Korea. It's
right.
They have a following of anyone and everyone.
This isn't attached to any particular idol group.
No. It's a fictional idol group they created for them. It's along the same lines as, well, maybe I'm wrong on this, but KDA, right, was created for League of Legends, right? It's like a virtual idol group, and they do the same thing here. But man, that music is it's so well made. It's like I equate like this K-pop and this idol style music to like what if the boy band thing from the early 2000s that we know kind of just never went away because it's so unfashionable now, right, in the West to be a girl or a boy group of that type, like where Little Mix isn't a thing anymore. What was the last one? Like One Direction, was that the last big one, really? Like,
yeah, One Direction,
and that's been a while
and
now.
they only came about because of the popularity of the TV
Right.
contests.
Yeah.
Right?
It was an X Factor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've had those. And so what if like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, what would they evolve into? And I think that's what K-pop, as we collapse it to, is. It's that. It's
and like amped up by the fact that it's kind of a point of national pride and like because it's like a cultural soft power thing. I think the Korean fucking state is like trying to encourage this industry, right? And because it gives them soft power. Yeah.
Sure. But with all that potential reduction aside, it's so well made. It's so well made. Like
it's fun.
Like
that's
the lyrics are super
general,
catchy. It's like the production is so good, like really good. Like I'm listening to it even with like my trying not to be bopping my head along with it and just listening to how it's constructed, and it's like this is genius. Like
this thing, K-pop Demon Hunters aside, but in the general K-pop and J-pop and rock and everything, I'm wondering, do you think they have more license for us? Do you think they have more license to be cringe because they're foreign? You know what I mean?
Perhaps, yeah, but I don't even think it's that cringe. I think it's borderline for sure, but it sort of works. It doesn't feel too try hard, right? I think that's the real problem that you could really, really land yourself in with this style.
Yeah, for sure.
But it very carefully walks that tightrope to such a precise degree that it works. And I've been listening to it. Milesy wants me to play it when he notices I've got like Spotify open or something. He's like, song, and I'm like, oh no. Which one? And I go to my homepage and it's got the album art for K-pop Demon Hunters and he's like, this one. And it's like, okay. I guess I'm listening to this again.
Sweet.
But I don't really mind, because it's that good. On the film front, I should say, like it's done by it appeals to me because it's done by Sony Animation, and I have a bit of a soft spot for them thanks to Spider-Man and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and you can really tell it's that team. Like the animation style and the way faces are done and things feels quite cloudy.
Oh, that would explain why it's good.
But it's animated on the twos a bit more like Spider-Man is, the Spider-Verse films.
Right, but anime is generally, right?
Not necessarily CG, right? CG tends to be full frame. They make a stylistic choice to make it look like that here.
Yeah, that's true.
It looks the part. It's well animated. The narrative is pretty good up until I think the last 10-15 minutes, where it sort of kind of falls apart completely. Mostly just to push the music, I guess, which is a shame. But hell, if this counts as a musical, maybe this is a musical I like finally.
I don't think that's how that
does that count? Like, because it just doesn't fall into that normal category of what musical music sounds like. Because I hate musical music.
Yeah.
Which is why this isn't a musical.
Yeah, maybe right.
It's just a film.
It's a pop film. Yeah, I guess. It's why that Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody was fine because it's just Queen music, right? And maybe I'd be okay with like We Will Rock You like as a musical because it's just Queen music. Maybe that's acceptable. But like, oh man, I remember getting so like, or at least initially interested, shall we say, not excited, but at least mildly interested in the concept of Hamilton when it turned up. And I was like, oh yeah, it's the hip hop musical, and I'm like, yes. And then you actually hear tracks from it, and it's like, nope, this is a musical ass musical.
No, it is a musical ass musical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, nope, not for me. Go away. Yeah. If this is the direction musicals would take, then I'd be on board.
There must be some more pop jukebox musicals. I guess there's Mamma Mia and shit like that.
Yeah, maybe School of Rock is acceptable.
Yeah, School of Rock.
Yeah, the stage
does that have
version
original
of that.
songs? I guess it does, in the sense that they're creating songs like for the band.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple in the film
is there
itself,
a musical
right?
version of
there's a musical of School of Rock, yeah.
Right, okay. I haven't seen that.
I've not seen that, but...
yeah. So is this, I mean... If this was a one-off thing, it won't be now, right?
Oh no, they've already said there's another mini film coming soon or something, like a little pick me up. But whether they'll do like full on sequels or stuff is a little unknown. There's probably room for it, because the narrative is quite light, shall we say. It's good enough, but it's relatively light in its construction. They could do more things with it. Give me more weird bird and cat. You'll know when you see them. If you've watched the film, it's criminally not enough of weird bird and cat. They don't have names, I don't think, but. They like get one scene to them, or one set of scenes to themselves, and then they're gone pretty much for the rest of the film. And it's like, oh man,
I'm sure they'll be back.
Yeah, they're funny.
Anything that's popular will return.
Yeah, so pretty good. Unlike, I watched Cars 2 and 3.
We talked about I suppose you did this for Miles, but I was like pretty sure it was going to go steeply downhill after Cars 1.
Yeah, it does. Cars 2 is everything I feared, as it turns out. It's like on paper.
But isn't this in the tradition of Cars is like, obviously it's a Pixar film, but it's like a Disney film that goes in the cinema. But isn't Cars 2 like the straight-to-video Aladdin sequel?
See, I don't think this happened with Cars. I think Cars, was all theatrical releases.
Really?
In the Toy Story vein.
Well, it's because they came out much quicker. It's not like it's been 20 years or whatever, they're remaking Cinderella. It's like...
Right, yeah. I think there was
there was a gap, but it wasn't, super long.
I want to say it was
like Toy Story's cadence, probably.
Yeah, I want to say it was, nearly 10 years from 1 to 3, something like that. So it wasn't rapid, but it wasn't super slow either. Hell, that's probably slower than the Sonic movies, right?
Right, yeah.
Or at this rate, maybe the Mario movies as well, to be honest. But yeah, Cars 2 is kind of everything I feared. They take a step away in a different direction and go for a weird spy thriller storyline, with some attachment to the racing that Lightning does. But the problem is that it's almost entirely focused on that other character, Mater, who is just I find really irritating and not all that funny. So yeah, that was the big problem. Cars 3 actually is an improvement. It's not as good as the first, but it kind of gets back to basics, like a fairly by the numbers narrative about passing the torch, potentially, or getting old. This is kind of the plot of Cars 3. Is Lightning starts being beaten by younger models, and what do you do? And as a result, it has a little bit more of a grounding, I think, for its narrative to latch onto something a bit more real. And there's not a lot of Mater in it, so I'm happy. But it's not as funny or as fun as Cars 1, so it's doesn't quite stand up. But I mean, they could have just not made them, and I think I would have been happier.
What about Miles?
He was actually. I think he kind of agrees with me. I think he was noticeably less interested in Cars 2 and 3 compared to because the lock-in was lower on 2 and 3 than it was on Cars 1. Even though I kind of thought Cars 2 might have had more Miles appeal simply because of, it's a bit more action focused. There's more, fewer slow moments. But there you go. Kid approved. Well, Cars 1 is kid tested, dad approved. Cars 2 and 3, kid tested, not dad approved. No, you can watch it. They're just rubbish. Like Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is rubbish. Just put it out there. It's so annoying. Just
in general, the character or a specific thing.
I'm starting to think Mickey Mouse is just
cartoons.
Yeah.
When I watched loads of Tom and Jerry and stuff, but I don't remember Mickey Mouse.
Right, yeah.
I didn't have Disney Channel or anything.
I think I saw a lot of other Disney properties that were kind of around it, right? Like Goofy and maybe some Donald Duck. Obviously, when it gets to like DuckTales and Rescue Rangers and Tailspin and stuff like that, I remember watching shows like that. But not so much Mickey Mouse, and to the point where
he's just a mascot, isn't he? Like the only thing that what's Mickey Mouse even in? He's in Fantasia, which is creepy and weird, but interesting.
Right, and I suppose
that's the only thing I remember seeing him in, where he's like a wizard, isn't he? In Fantasia?
He's a wannabe wizard, right? He's the wizard's apprentice. Yeah. But I don't know. He must have been in a bunch of shorts, right? That like Looney Tunes style length things leading, that must have cemented him somewhat as the figurehead, but they're not the ones. I don't remember any of those really as a thing. And the kids focused Mickey Mouse shows are so irritating, so very irritating. The voice is just. I mean, Mickey Mouse doesn't have a good voice either. Welcome to the clubhouse. Hot dog. There's a lot of hot dog, as it turns out, in Mickey Mouse and that in Disney classic character related stuff.
I've heard more of the Mickey Mouse sound in the parody in South Park than I have in the actual thing.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, I'll take those old goofy how-to cartoons. Those are pretty great.
I remember how to the British program.
Carol Vorderman.
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, I don't remember that much about that program.
How?
I mean,
it was educational.
Yeah. It was basically QI, but not a quiz.
Yeah.
Right.
With some experiments. Yeah, it was all right. I quite liked How. Was there a How before How To?
I wouldn't have thought.
I don't think How To was a sequel, was it? I mean, that would make sense.
Was it? But I always remember it being stylized as with a number 2.
Yeah. Oh, evidently it is a sequel.
Oh, is it?
Wow.
There we go. Oh, I don't remember the precursor to How To.
It was called How. Oh, apparently there was a revival in 2020.
What?
I'm sure that was terrible.
Was it called How?
I'm sure that was probably terrible.
Was it called How Cubed?
No, it was just called How, all caps this time. Just for some reason. How. Not sure why.
How. Right in the kisser. Yeah, so that's been my adventures in TV. Oh no, it's not quite. We finished watching The Residents. That was cool. I recommended that last time, I think, on the podcast, but we finished that off. That continued to be cool. Enjoyed.
That's the TV section.
I don't
think I've got anything.
I mean, we're thick in Bake Off territory now.
You're in Bake Off mode.
Yeah. 'Tis the season.
How do you follow these things? Is Bake Off on?
Bake Off is Channel 4.
Channel 4.
So you can just watch it on 4 on demand, or
okay,
or record on Sky, but
right,
skip the ads. Man, 4 is another one of those channels that's like decided it wants you to pay for the ad-free experience on its streaming app, right? I mean, not that because it didn't have an ad-free experience before. But now it's like, but if you pay us £4 extra a month, we'll take the ads away from the streaming app. And it's like, you can't all do this, guys. No one's going to pay for all of them. Well, I mean, someone is, but...
Yeah, some people are, but it just isn't good value, I don't think.
No.
Pay for all of these things.
It still works out better to just, the best way to watch TV is still record TV and then fast forward the ads.
Right.
Unfortunately, the old school method is still the best way to do it.
But how much are you paying for that?
Too much. Yeah. I'm seriously considering jacking in my Sky soon.
But then you won't get the F1.
But then I won't get the F1. Yeah.
That's really the only reason you have Sky.
They always used to get you, right?
Yeah.
The sport.
The sport. Yeah. That is the only reason we have Sky now. Otherwise, I would swap to Freesat or something. Or if Freely get their act together. That like Freely is the if you're not aware of it, is the successor to FreeSat, and Freeview, I guess, is the other one, right? But streamed entirely instead of over the air. So if that kicks off and does well, then that might be a pretty good option to switch to. I mean, Sky do have a streaming option now, but I don't know if I can get Sky are always a bit weird about how you can actually get their services, and I think Sky Stream doesn't have some of the content or doesn't offer 4K or something like that. It's a bit weird. So I might have to investigate that a bit more fully. But yeah, Sky is far too expensive. And I'm aware I'm going to be in for some mortgage shock next year, so I might have to cut some cords. Yeah.
Interest rate issues.
Yep, for sure. The thought even crossed my mind of possibly having to cancel my Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Oh, I know, it's my lifeblood. The thing that. I mean, the idea of cancelling Game Pass just for a few months here and there, probably not such a bad thing, right?
Probably literally what you should do.
Yeah.
But that's what no one ever does.
No one ever does. And in fairness, I pre-buy my Game Pass by finding slightly, possibly less than legitimate means by which to acquire it. But it works for me, whatever. Don't at me. Then the... so I could put it, but the thing that bothers me is what does that mean? On Xbox Live, there's that number of years you've been a permanent member, your streak essentially. I wonder if I suddenly lapse what was my gold membership, I guess, into nothingness, does that number go away?
Oh no!
Or does it recover when I re-up? If
Rob's achievement obsession is back.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, if it recovers when I re-up, that's fine. I don't care.
Just look at the one on Steam, because that just counts how long you set your Steam account. So it's 20 years at this point.
Yeah, I know it doesn't matter. I know it's stupid, but the thought did cross my mind.
Speaking of Steam, YouTube, randomly, for some reason, my Steam profile got some awards out of nowhere, and I'm like, who the fuck did that?
Awards?
Yeah, you know how on Steam they have the little... normally they use on, reviews or comments or whatever, you have the little awards, like Reddit has awards, the little things that but on Steam, you use your Steam points that you get from making purchases to buy the awards, and then you award the awards to people's content.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Which usually is just people using the fucking Jester one every time that any trolls are around, and it's really dumb. And there's this whole stupid economy of the first troll post on every goddamn announcement page on every game and gets all the Jester awards. It's just, this sucks. The whole system is ass. But yeah, my Steam profile...
People have to pay for that, not exactly, I suppose.
Yeah, because the
Steam
points are secondary that you just get when you buy stuff.
Things, yeah. So it's sort of a paid currency, yeah.
But yeah, my Steam account just randomly got 2 awards, and I was like, who the fuck did that? There's literally only 2 people it could possibly be, and that's Rob and one other person on my Steam list.
Well, I can confirm it was not me, because I wasn't aware of this as a thing.
Yeah. Because I also was like, was it someone trolling me when I was playing Rocket League? But then I looked at
that'd be pretty funny.
Because Steve sent me an email telling me about these things on my account, and I looked at the time that email came through, and it's I wasn't even doing anything on Steam at that point.
Well, that doesn't mean anything, I suppose.
No, but yeah, just
premeditated,
completely random Steam point awards.
Weird.
Just on my main profile as well. I mean, I guess I don't post anything else really apart from screenshots occasionally.
Tangentially, this is a podcast about video games.
Yeah.
We got that.
There's one weird YouTube thing I noticed the other day, though, before we go to video games. I know you're talking about YouTube, but I have the premium thing or whatever. I'm not paying for all these Channel 4 or whatever, or even Netflix or anything, but I do have the YouTube premium. And you know how, there's that on the desktop, on the browser, there's that sponsor block extension that people use. And it like crowdsources which bits of the adverts the creators have put their sponsored section in, and then as you're watching it, it skips over it or whatever.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
Have you not used that?
No.
Rob. Okay.
No, I mean, that would be quite nice, actually. I mean, I'm one of the ad blockers, and that still seems to work for me. But like, it's although it nearly didn't. I got to the point where I was blocked on my Steam Deck at one point. I did actually get to that point. YouTube blocked me.
Because of the ad blocker.
Because of my ad blocker, yeah.
Right. Because I thought that might be one of the reasons that you are running essentially YouTube in a browser, even on your TV, because then you can have things like sponsor block, right, which you couldn't otherwise run on your smart TV app.
I mean, I could. I kind of wasn't aware of its existence.
It's quite good because it highlights it in like green on the timeline.
Oh, nice.
The extension, and it automatically skips over sponsored sections.
So how does that work? Nice. Is it community tagged? Then,
yeah,
I see.
It's crowdsourced, community tagged. But obviously, I watch it on my TV with the smartphone app, so it doesn't have any browser extensions or anything, right? Not smartphone, but the smart TV app or whatever.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't have that. And I have seen videos of creators complaining about sponsor block because obviously they can tell by the analytics that.
There's a massive dip around that area.
Yeah, everyone skips over their sponsor sections.
I always wonder if that is also affected by, like, when I'm doing it, I'm just, like, mashing the right arrow key to skip over in 5 seconds at a time. Yeah.
Sure. And but then does that add to the most replayed count because you've targeted that time slot?
Does YouTube recognise that as it being skipped, or does it recognise as you deliberately moving
I'm about
to that part?
Tell you because this needs to now be a premium feature where if I'm on the TV and I start skipping through 5 seconds at a time, like you do, Zach, or whatever, it goes straight to the end of the sponsor section and says skipped over commonly skipped section with a little P saying premium. So YouTube themselves have put a feature in, which I guess is a premium feature.
Yeah.
Because it has a little P and a red thing when it happens, which I presume means it's premium. But it just that now I don't have to worry about not having sponsor block on the when I watch it on the TV, because all you do is you skip forward 5 seconds and it jumps straight to the end of that section.
That's thorny, right?
I know.
Okay, so the reason people do those sections are because I guess they want more money or YouTube doesn't pay enough, right? One of those two things.
I guess.
Or both of those two things.
So maybe they're in a fight with YouTube over them. Yeah.
Yeah. So the content, again, it's another stab at content creators who do this themselves.
I mean, it's not really any different from just mashing the button. It's just saving you mashing the button. It's just YouTube giving you the ability. But if I had the ability to like hold down shift and press right arrow and it skipped 30 seconds, I'd do that instead.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, but it's just that pure reason that it's actually a feature.
It's a feature, and it skips to precisely the end of the section that everyone skips. Right.
Yeah.
Because it can tell which bits people are mashing through, and then it can tell when that section has ended.
Because I'm manually doing it even on my like Steam Deck variant by just pointing the mouse at the timeline where I think the sponsor section's going to end. So I'm doing a skip that way. But
yeah,
so that would that would populate whatever database that's coming from as well
internally in YouTube. Yeah. Huh. So I thought that was interesting that they added that feature, which is convenient for me.
That is quite convenient. Yeah.
At this point, how is anyone even making any money from sponsorships any longer? Because everyone skips them in a variety of different ways, sometimes automatically.
Unless they're really quick.
Or, in some rare cases, people who have actually managed to make the adverts funny, whereas it's like...
Yeah.
This is actually worth watching content, even though it's an advert.
Sure. There's definitely some people that put some effort into their ads.
But obviously there's only so much you can do with sponsorships. There's restrictions.
Yeah, like I always liked, I mean they don't do it anymore, but I always liked when Giant Bomb did their sponsorships on their podcast, right? And they were that small business person. And they would all be like read out in character, and it's like, that's kind of neat. That's kind of fun.
The internet comment etiquette with Eric, that channel is good. That has quite good, funny adverts sometimes. But he made a special episode specifically about sponsor block where he deliberately kind of wove the sponsorship messages all throughout the video to make it as confusing as possible if you're watching
Sure.
it with the sponsor block.
Yeah.
But of course, it's like a challenge for the people crowdsourcing the sponsor blocks. If you go on that video, it's got like tiny little, tagged tiny little 5-second sections that it skips through.
Just presumably, like, if he just suddenly turned around and that would be a good thing, like my sponsor, and then that's all he says on that, like, and then just moves on. It's like, oh, that's a really small little thing, and just says that a lot.
Yeah.
Like this delicious beer I'm drinking right now. Thanks, Peroni. Thoroni.
Thoroni.
I'm not going to get sponsored by Peroni. It's like it's an average beer.
There we go. Definitely not now. Great. Happy Salad not sponsored by Peroni.
It's fine.
Now. It's fine.
I'm drinking it, aren't I?
That doesn't mean much.
I'm drinking it.
Yeah, but that'll be that's the extent of my advertising capabilities. It's like, well, I'm drinking it, am I?
A thing I consume.
Yeah.
You did buy it in a shop, which is slight endorsement. Or maybe.
But that's not how that works. You're meant to get paid to endorse things. You're not meant to buy the product.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You're not meant to spend money and then endorse it.
I'll take it if it's free.
So, video games.
Video games.
That is the subject.
No, a little bit happened after our last podcast.
Somewhat.
Yeah, a little bit. All in with the big N slapped all over it. News.
That's not the end.
The big N of news. No, it's Nintendo time because Nintendo did a big direct.
An actual direct. We were still wondering whether it was going to be or whether they were going to do like another Air Riders one, which they are also going to do apparently. But...
Yes, yeah, that Air Riders wasn't in this showcase, but
technically. The amiibos for Air Riders were in this
Oh, right,
showcase.
yeah, the amiibos were in, yeah. With Starlink technology, you can take the riders off the top and swap
Which is why
them to
they're even more fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Naturally.
I mean, it's kind of cool, but still, yeah. Yeah, but Air Riders will be getting a second presentation of some kind. It's not clear whether that was a Nintendo Direct or if it was a Sakurai-driven thing.
A Sakurai one,
yeah,
obviously.
I mean, the other one was a Sakurai-driven thing anyway, so it'll be...
Sure, yes.
Yeah. Even more riders, but then hopefully that will, quash the rumours that this thing is content light.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I mean, no, they've already said there's only one city trial map, right? So,
yeah.
Unless it's like the promise of updates coming in the future or
unless
something to that.
Unless there's only one city trial map, but they're going to reveal that what they showed was like this is only one of the islands of the city trial.
Oh,
you
there's
can
actually
toggle different modes or like different zones.
Or events happen that force you to different parts.
Yeah.
Of it, or...
Probably not though.
Probably not, no. Yeah, so what did we get? Well, it's Mario's 40th anniversary.
Is it?
Well...
You wouldn't know it, apparently.
Well, it's not like we're getting a new Mario game. Because the big event is the new Super Mario Galaxy movie. It still features Chris Pratt. He's so cool.
You would
He's
hope
so
so.
cool.
It would be weird if they changed any of the voice actors
that would be
after one movie.
Yeah. Well, there was a notable exception. There was one name that wasn't mentioned on that cast roster, and that is Seth Rogen. Does this no Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Does this mean there's no Donkey Kong?
Probably.
In the galaxy.
Yeah.
Would be another random failing of Nintendo's co-marketing for with Bonanza and not putting the skins in Mario Kart and everything.
Yeah.
Now Donkey Kong isn't even in the movie any longer.
Yeah. We didn't even do that.
And it's Donkey Kong addition to the theme park thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they haven't announced who any of the new characters might be, because obviously Rosalina's going to be in it, and they haven't told us who that's going to be, or who's playing Luma, right?
Who was originally playing Luma?
Well, yeah, because Luma does say something in that trailer or teaser. It's not really a trailer; it's a teaser, and it's out next spring, so not that far away.
Which just tells you, of course, that they've made all the assets. They can shit this shit out real quick.
I guess, yeah. And now Illumination have the pipeline ready. They can just
start churning.
Yeah, was it 2 years ish since the last one, roughly?
I'm sure this will be fine. I'm still much more worried about live action Zelda. I'm pretty
Sure.
sure
Which they didn't mention at all, by the way.
No. Oh, it's still pretty early production though.
Sure.
So it's...
They should just can that.
But they announced the actors already. So, you know, they could have. They could have
did.
said he's so cool, or whatever.
He's so cool.
He's so cool.
And directly connected to that, we're going in October. We're going to get re-releases of Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which is the first time Super Mario Galaxy 2 has been re-released.
Nice.
And I'm going to call these light remasters because they're not just an up-res. There is a little bit of work that's been going on to these, like, and some graphic comparisons have shown those up. Like, texture work has been improved in a couple of places. Some texture work has been changed, which I'm not quite so keen on. There's a few little details here and there where I noticed, like, oh yeah, that's not quite the same, is it? And it's a bit like. It's fine. It doesn't look out of place or anything like that. It's not like it's not like a Halo Anniversary Edition situation or anything. But it's they are different, and a bit of me was like, oh, that's a little bit odd. The one that caught me like a little bit strange is they've obviously had to upscale all the font work, right, and all the graphics work, which actually they might not have had to have done for this because don't forget there was that weird Nvidia Shield release of Mario Galaxy in China. That ran at like a higher res and had upscaled assets already. Some of this has already been done before. Obviously not for Galaxy 2, but for Galaxy 1, this exists. So yeah, that's kind of odd. Change some details, and presumably they're going to have to have reworked the controls a bit because obviously Galaxy was a bit waggly.
I mean, it could
and a bit pointy.
It would still be waggly pretty easy. Pointy, maybe not so much.
Yeah, so there's going to have been.
Although
some
I don't know,
work
because I haven't seen how well the pointer works with Switch 2 now. Because it's completely terrible on Switch 1.
Like, well, it's not a true pointer, is it? It would be truly gyro driven.
But that's what I mean. It's like, have they improved that any more since the Switch 1 version?
Yeah,
where it was like workable but not great.
Yeah, I do wonder how they're solving that to some extent.
I think the real answer, if you're going to remake Mario Galaxy, is get rid of it and just have the star bits just absorb into you automatically.
Yeah,
like,
as if
no
you
one
pointed
likes
at
the just paint over the screen constantly maneuver.
Right, yeah. It's when you specifically want to shoot at things that they'd need to have a solution for, I suppose. But
when did you ever do that, apart from feeding the Lumas, which is a menu?
Right, yeah. Well, I can't even remember, to be honest. I never played that much of Galaxy. Like, I don't remember getting that far in it. I remember really liking it, but for whatever reason didn't. Oh, I mean, I don't own a copy, so it was someone else's copy, so that probably explains it.
I didn't have a Wii. Everyone else had a Wii, but I don't think I didn't have a Wii. So, good opportunity to play these games, I guess.
I guess, except they're $70.
It's two whole games.
Both?
For both, yeah, $70. And that is quite a high. I mean, that's the highest possible ticket price for a re-release collection, which is a little bit sketch.
How much did the free games that they previously re-released cost?
I mean, that was probably full price as well, but not the Switch 2 full price, right?
No.
That would have been like, well, at this point, what must have been like £15 cheaper than what games currently.
About 15.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember it, but yeah. Well, that's a good point. Actually, they must have already solved the problem I was talking about. They must have solved the waggle problem for that release, right? Because that had Galaxy in it.
As much as they had solved it from Switch 1. It's
Yeah.
the same as Pikmin 3, which was like
Right.
when they did that with its motion controls.
But that must have had a mode in it that didn't. That must have had a non-motion controlled style in it already. But
yes, but the motion controls still existed.
Right. So there's that. I don't know. It's nice that they're re-released, but also, Nintendo and your pricing. It annoys me every time I see anything about it. Which leads me on to Mario Tennis Fever. Which sports games and Nintendo sports games always has the same problem. They're always full price titles that are potentially content light. So here comes Mario Tennis Fever, potentially trying to solve that a little bit.
It doesn't look like there's any more content than the last one, really.
Well, apart from the inclusion of the Game Boy Color-esque adventure mode.
Well, but the last game still had a story mode as well.
Did it? Did Aces?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, probably not as story-ish. It was probably
not as
more
RPG.
Like UI.
Wasn't it the golf game definitely did that? The last golf game, right?
As well.
Oh, did it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Obviously, the only thing to care about the story mode of Fever is Baby Waluigi.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yes, Baby Waluigi.
We haven't had that before, have we?
No.
Have we had Baby Wario?
Have we had
We've
Baby Wario?
either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
my.
surprising we haven't had Baby Wario.
Obviously, the only thing you really care about is, does he have a character-specific special?
Yes. I mean,
Does he
they're all going to probably.
Does he swim across the court in comedy fashion? I mean, just like Aces does, it seems like the mechanics here, they sound pretty solid. They sound different from Aces, right? And which is interesting in itself.
Although it's sort of the same problem that Pokemon always has, where they keep reinventing, when Pokemon was it's Mega Evolutions, no wait, get rid of that. It's Z-Moves, no wait, get rid of that. It's Gigamax.
Right, yeah. Right. So if something you like comes along, it's it's not going to stay.
Yeah.
Right? So if you liked Aces, maybe Fever isn't going to appeal. There's the risk there, right? I get it.
But that's not our problem with it, apart from it being always a full price game, is we don't actually care about the special shit. We just want the tennis to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've always wanted it to go back to just feeling or being as fun as Mario Tennis 64 was.
Yeah.
And maybe they did call out them leaning more into dives and stuff, so the actual maneuverability of how you set up the shots and stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean that's
not special shit.
If that's a button action now, you have to push a button to dive rather than it being a somewhat automatic thing like it was in the previous games, then I can be on board with that. That adds a level. Because that was one of the most frustrating things about Mario Tennis 64, I remember. It's where he died. The character would sometimes dive when it wasn't necessary and would dive too far. And it's no, what are you doing? That's not my fault. You made the wrong choice there, Mario. I suppose you could have left it a little later to push the shot button, and so the game was somewhat punishing you, I suppose, for pushing the button too early, but the way the mechanics of that game worked, I would have preferred your character to stand in place in the wrong position like they did if you pushed the button too early. I don't know. Mario Tennis 64 wasn't perfect, but it was a fun-ass game in multiplayer.
Yeah, it was super fun. I think that was my favourite in the same room multiplayer of the era. I liked it more than Mario Kart.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. We did play an awful lot of Mario Tennis multiplayer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at the time, for us anyway, we were slightly hard pressed to beat Smash Bros. But
but
just because Smash Bros was hot,
I'm just not a fighting game person. So
sure, yeah, I get.
It's never going to work for me.
But Smash Bros was so new, the platform fighter. It's not just a fighting game. It's yeah. I mean, at the time, it was this is original.
But we didn't even play fighting games. I mean, Rob did maybe a little bit.
I played loosely, but I wasn't.
But we never played any Street Fighter or any of that earlier.
Not
shit.
really. The most I really got into was Tekken 3 back in the day, I guess. And that was probably about it. Oh, unless you want to count the terrible Amiga fighting games I had, Body Blows.
Balls.
Oh. I mean, I remember trying to play Balls on an emulator. I never had Balls. That was not a good game. Quite technically impressive at the time, but not a good game. And they just made a game called Balls.
Called Balls.
With a Z, obviously.
My balls.
It didn't even have Peter Molyneux in it.
That would be for the remake.
Yeah. Mario Wonder is getting an update.
As we predicted.
Yeah.
You need to play that, Rob.
I really do.
It's a really good game.
You're not wrong. I really do. And the Switch 2 update probably gives me even more reason to.
And Zach, you should play that.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the only reason you haven't is pricing.
Yes.
Which is not going to get any better, but at least now it's also the Switch 2 version.
No, it's going to get worse, in fact, because the Switch 2 version is obviously going to add cost to it, at least $10.
But you're getting multiplayer content that no one cares about.
But there is some single player stuff. They did tease there is more to it than that. It sounds like there's another mini campaign, mini single player stuff to it as well. So we'll have to see what that is. But they did focus their attention on the multiplayer side here, and it's like, well, I guess that'll be okay for kids, but we're not going to do that. Let's be real, we're not going to do that. Oh yeah, how do you feel about the talking flower, by the way? It's like, do you agree with the internet's opinion that it's like, oh, Nintendo's most charmless character gets a toy?
I mean, it doesn't even have a name.
It's just a talking flower, yeah.
They didn't even give it a goofy name.
Not like Horno, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, they really should have called him Horno.
Does it talk, the talking flower?
Yes.
Must do.
Yes.
Right. Can you do what I did with the game was set I don't know if it was, I think there was an individual setting to set the flowers to Japanese.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
So I do that. But then I set the Zelda dialogue to Japanese as well because I find the English dialogue too cringe. Even though it's the same dialogue.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Just the voice acting, I mean.
Yeah, I think it's fine. The talk.
Moon rises once again.
Well, except you don't get that in Tears, do you?
Oh no, I don't. I haven't even heard it.
Like the first time only or something. Like I never.
You just skip that sequence every time, so technically, yes, the first time only.
No, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. Like I've been playing it recently, and I haven't heard it. That hasn't come up at all.
Well, I mean,
like,
not to get into the Zelda discussion early, but after you progress the story a certain point in Tears of the Kingdom, where you discover that the Zelda isn't actually real, then she's not in that sequence any longer.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the. Yeah, I thought it was just like because it was just an ethereal voiceover. Like I didn't realize it was actually.
They actually work that in with the story, where once you've solved the Zelda imposter thing, that whole sequence changes. Well, not really changes that much.
Removes that.
It removes the voiceover.
Huh. I never noticed. Okay. Anyway, that spring 2026, we'll get that Wonder update. Somewhat surprised it's not earlier, to be honest. Like, it's a little bit.
I mean, this is Nintendo's like, it's Mario's 40th birthday, but what? It's not like year of Mario. We're working on financial year apparently.
They're not even making like that. Do you remember Mario 35? They're not making an update of that Mario 40, which would be funny. It's the same. It's just now there's 40 players. But there was one more thing in the Mario celebration, if you can call it the Mario celebration.
This is dumb. Why did they put that in this?
Yoshi is getting a new game.
And it's not even like Yoshi plus Baby Mario like the old Yoshi. It's just Yoshi.
It's just Yoshi, yeah.
Like, there's literally no Mario involved.
Yeah, it looks like a spiritual reboot, I guess, of Yoshi's story. I mean, the N64 one.
All the Yoshi games are like that, though. They always keep trying to reboot those styles.
Oh, sure,
or
but
like slightly modify it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's like
they tend to go in slightly different directions. There was Woolly World, right, and then there was the claymation one, and then
I wouldn't have said they've never made this one book-ish in its style. I mean, slightly, yeah. It's. I think it's more like the art style of Yoshi's Story on N64, particularly compared to it's not Yoshi 2, right? Which is still obviously was it Super Mario World 2, right? So which is still. Personally, I think the best looking one of the bunch. Well, yeah, obviously.
The art style on that is great.
Because it was pixel art.
Well, yeah. And they just really lent into the hard black edges and things like that. And like pencil and pen art look. I don't know, they nailed it first time. And it's not quite worked since. I mean, it's going to be a Yoshi game. I don't think there's anything particularly exciting here.
Well, that's been the other problem with all of the subsequent Yoshi games is that they're not like that. They're not like Super Mario World 2. They're not, in fact, Mario games any longer, which is what Super Mario World 2 was. That's why it was good, because it was technically a Yoshi game, but it was like a Mario game of the age, of the SNES age.
More traditional platformy, even though the Baby Mario mechanic was there.
Yeah,
right.
It was more like a.
It's sort of almost a collectathon, but in platforming form.
Yeah, I mean, like a Mario game.
Yeah.
and it was moderately difficult, unlike all the subsequent ones, which is why everyone was like, "Oh, these suck," because it's like they babied it, except without the baby.
I mean, different audiences for different games, I guess. Yoshi is young person's game. That's just the rule now.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, that's what Kirby's meant to be for.
Is it?
Except, like, Kirby is a weird situation. It's like, Kirby's real easy, but, like, it's also weirdly, like, hardcore in other ways. It's like, the difficulty isn't difficult. It's more like the design of it, I guess.
Slightly obtuse, but not tricky. Yeah.
What's that got on Switch 2, the Forgotten Land? Like a patch? Or?
Yeah, it's the DLC.
Switch 2 edition, yeah.
Oh, Switch 2 edition.
It's a Switch, but the DLC is part of that, so it's... And the 60 FPS update, right?
Right.
So that's it. That's the Year of Mario. Year of Mario never ends. Then we got some other stuff. Shout out to Dinkum. Hey, if you thought your Animal Crossing / Minecraft-y sort of games needed a more Australian edge, Dinkum's got you covered.
I don't know. I'm surprised. I guess this is the announcement that it's coming out of early access on PC because it's been in early access on PC for quite a while.
Right. Okay.
But now they're like, oh, we're putting it on Switch. So I guess it must be actually out.
It must be launching. Yeah. Dinkum. That's fun to say. Popucom. Not quite as fun to say as Dinkum. But hey, what if Zuma and Splatoon had a weird co-op baby? That's kind of what this game is. It's like puzzle. Shoot coloured blobs at other coloured blobs. Make enough blobs and those blobs disappear. Clear the path. Go. Kind of game. But it's 2-player co-op primarily. With a 4-player mode as well. You've got to work together to solve puzzles. I just thought like the Zuma throwback is kind of weird. Like,
I mean, Zuma is just one reference.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Puzzle Bobble and whatever else. It's just
any kind of match 3, I suppose, to some extent.
Hit the balls together and they go away.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of interesting. But not especially for me. Hyrule Warriors got a new trailer, The Imprisoning War, which I don't know if we knew before this trailer aired, but hey, I didn't realize the single player was targeting 60 FPS, which is kind of rad.
Well, I mean, I don't think they ever, like... I mean, they didn't really still ever point that out, but, like...
But you could see it.
Yeah.
Like, your eyes could tell.
It does run better, clearly.
They did also show split-screen co-op is definitely returning, which is... obviously the best thing about it. You'll take a hit though, and the hit is that it'll run at 30 FPS, and it's like, that's fine as long as the game looks okay and runs at a stable 30. I am more than happy with that, given what we put up with Age of Calamity.
Well, I was more interested in the fact that it also has game share, because I wonder if that will have more or less impact. I mean, obviously it'll probably look shitter, obviously with this video coding, but
yeah, I wonder how it will do that, how it will pull that off. Because I think like I assume it has to like render the main screen at a lower quality to some degree in order for it to have enough pixels to send to the second screen. It's all got to render on one platform, right? Because it's just video. That's all it's doing. That looks pretty. That game, I'm still hyped for it. I'm hyped. November 6th. Not long, soon. Bet it's $70.
Probably. Well, I mean, I guess it might not be because it's not just Nintendo.
It's not just... Well, that's true. It's Koei Tecmo, so I wonder if it counts as a first-party release. I don't know.
But it is Zelda.
But it is,
so they can probably put some more money on it.
$70. Dragon Quest VII, the PlayStation 1 classic, is getting, I believe, its second remake in Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. But this looks like a pretty full-on remake this time. It's all like nicely rendered. It's all... reworked graphics. I think the game is still kind of the same as far as
probably, yeah.
But
not that
it's not like a Final Fantasy VII remake situation.
Not like Dragon Quest isn't always the same anyway.
to some extent, yeah. But it looks pretty high quality. Like I think it's a challenge to bring like Toriyama style character arts into 3D and have them not look weird, but they kind of just,
it.
yeah, I think they just really lent into the weird here, and it works. Everyone still looks cross-eyed to me, though. Like, really cross-eyed. Never mind. Have any of us ever played a Dragon Quest? Like, I don't think I've ever touched one.
No.
I was tempted to play, like, whatever the latest one was when it turned up on Game Pass, like, a year or two ago.
I mean, I guess technically I played the demo of Dragon Quest Builders, but that doesn't count.
Yeah. No, not quite the same. Oh boy, we've got to talk about something I didn't think we were ever going to talk about. Maybe on this podcast. Nintendo's getting a new console added to the Nintendo Online Plus expansion pack retro lineup, and it's the Virtual Boy. If you buy a Virtual Boy.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm wondering whether that might theoretically be compatible with the Labo.
Oh, I mean, maybe they did say
that concept where you put the Switch into the
visor,
into the mount, and then it's obviously just got two lenses or whatever to separate the image.
Yeah, so they have announced obviously the expensive Virtual Boy accessory that's like got lenses and is basically the Virtual Boy. You put it on a table and you play it like you would.
And they didn't change the horrendous ergonomics of it at all.
No, not at all. It's exactly as it was.
Classic.
Or there is a cardboard version that they will be selling, which is basically the Labo equivalent, right? But has no like stand. Like, how are you going to have to hold that to your face whilst having a controller? How is that going to work? I don't get the cardboard one. Like if it came with like a Labo strap to attach it to your head in some way, maybe. But
they just didn't show it really.
No, that seems incredibly dumb. But yeah, the note at the bottom of the screen was that you cannot play these games unless you've got one of these accessories. Well,
but how's it going to
because it's going to do the stereo. Well, exactly. It won't be able to tell, but it will presumably present the game with the stereoscopic split down the middle of the screen.
Yes.
And it presumably won't let you play it in TV mode, right? Even though all the footage they showed looks kind of fine in 2D. It's like, why can't you play that version? Like, it seems weirdly restrictive to be like, no, you can only play this in 3D the way it was meant to be played. Buy our shit. It's like, just another thing adding to the perhaps somewhat increasing distaste for Nintendo's marketing practices at the moment.
No one's going to buy this thing, though.
No, you'd be mad to buy it. It's got 12 games or something, tops. Like,
the thing about it is, like, I felt like they implied when they were like, "Oh, it's got these games," and then they sort of implied that there was more, and it's like, wait, no, that's just the whole lineup.
No, that is the entire.
We already know every game on the Virtual Boy.
That is the entire lineup. It's not big.
I'm sure
unless someone decides to write something for the Virtual Boy accessory, like some indie game comes out and it's like, oh yeah, we've got Virtual Boy compatibility.
I'm sure it will still take like several months for them to actually release all these things, like it has been with the GameCube ones. God damn it!
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for any of the more interesting ones of those to show up.
Sure. Hey, at least we got Chibi Robo, right? Yeah, it's so weird. That's out February 17th next year. So, if you want to waste your money, it's probably already sold out.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
I've never seen a Virtual Boy.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen one in real life. It's a good question.
I don't think I've ever seen one on the shelf in CEX or whatever.
Oh, God, no.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't sell them there.
No.
They're way too valuable now.
Yeah, way too rare, yeah. I've probably seen one, but I think I've seen one behind a glass case at some point, but just not one in the wild, if you know what I mean. Right. I've never known anyone to have had one, or... Yeah, weird. Stardew Valley, the Switch 2 edition is coming. I don't think it's a free update, but it adds the mouse controls, which I assume have been on PC forever.
Well, yes. It's a PC game.
Yeah. So, yep, there you go. The Switch 2 mouse is getting some use.
Yep. But more importantly, it adds split screen, which is pretty weird.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like,
Does any other version do that?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I'm not sure it does. But I was expecting game share, not split screen.
Right.
But split screen is fine too, I suppose.
Well, it makes sense. I mean,
it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, if you're using that power to drive game share anyway, you might as well just do it split.
But it's also 4-player split screen. So.
Oh, huh. Well, that's kind of interesting.
Because I think about, this was way before the actual multiplayer of Stardew came out, back when it was modern multiplayer. But back then, when they were having to hack it was a whole issue of how the map loads into the different screens as you're moving from the town to the farm or whatever. And obviously they solved that in the regular multiplayer, but yeah, now it can render 4 viewpoints at the same time, I guess, instead of obviously in regular Stardew's multiplayer it's over the internet or whatever. You're only seeing your own view.
Yeah, interesting.
Yet more work that he's been doing on Stardew and not on the Chocolatier.
Yeah, there's that. Well, it got in place on a Nintendo Direct, I guess.
Potentially that part of the update might not have been him, because obviously the multiplayer update was substantially done by Chucklefish, not him.
Ah, I see. Well, Chucklefish are just a publisher. Presumably they brought someone else in to...
I think at the time, that was before Chucklefish got into publishing.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first non-Starbound thing they made, essentially.
Metroid Prime got a trailer.
Kind of.
And I don't know how I feel about it. Samus has a bike.
Yes, they managed to work Overworld into Metroid somehow. Also stealing the Zero Cycle from Zelda tech.
I mean, I'm conflicted. Because there's a bit of me that's okay, they kind of... The spirit of Metroid was present, as I want it, was present in Prime 1 and 2, right? But in Prime 3, they kind of broke it a bit by having the some of the areas being fully separated, right? You had to fly to planets or fly to places in Prime 3.
Really not that different from the long elevator loading sequence. It's just that.
Well, it kind of is and it isn't, because that's particular that's connected from a specific place to a potentially different specific place, right?
Sure, it was a 1-to-1 connection rather than just being a landing pad or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And, the whole point, you unlock shortcuts, you find different ways around it, there's potential secrets in all these little covens. But
you unlock different landing pads for E, right? That's how the progress of that was.
Oh, I can't remember that, but yeah.
As you work your way further through the planet, it's now you can call your ship to this place.
Right. Well, yeah, that's sort of makes sense. But yeah, I guess once you find it, it's okay. But anyway, I liked that interconnectedness is what I'm trying to say. That, to me, is what a proper Metroidvania is. Yes. It's not separate environments. It's one environment or one big map. And yes, the open world, you can argue, is still okay, yes, assuming you're not flying to places, it's still one big map, I guess. But the interconnectedness is kind of lost still, right? It's because there's this giant landmass, potentially.
I mean, it depends
this giant
how they've
desert,
done it, really.
Yeah. There's a lot of unknowns in there. It could be that these are Sonic open zones, I suppose, and that they are just big open areas, but actually there's plenty of connection points off them, and the environments still connect somewhere else, and maybe there's another big open zone somewhere else as well, blah, 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 blah. We don't really know how this works, but I hope it isn't just big open area and the areas are blips on the map in it. I really hope that's not the case. Is it going to detract too much from the game? I'm not sure. I probably not to a massive degree, but it is a Metroid-y thing, right? To me, it's a feel. It's a vibe of Metroid that is potentially not being respected here. I kind of agree with GVG's view on Metroid Prime at the moment, that I think it has got a bit of a marketing problem. The trailers haven't been good for it, and not good in a getting you hype kind of way for it. It's they seem to just exist just to make the point that's hey, remember Metroid Prime and how that kind of played? Well, this is that, and we're telling you nothing else. Which, if it is coming from that place of intent, that's okay, right? Because actually, the less you know, the better, probably. If it's, no, this is a shit trailer because it's a shit game, that's that's a bigger problem. And it's like, it could, at the moment, the way it's being portrayed, I actually, honestly, I'm starting to lose a little faith.
Yeah.
It's
somewhat worrying.
Yeah, a wee bit.
It's weird because they just put out that, remaster of Prime on the Switch.
Right, yeah. And they did
you hype for
and they did a really good job of that.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know why that isn't on Switch 2 with a...
Yeah, I would love, yeah.
I thought that's what they would announce at this Direct. This Prime 4 is coming and here's Prime on Switch 2.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have to be
to fit that in before Prime 4 technically comes out.
I guess.
It wouldn't have to be much. I wouldn't want a full Switch 2 edition of Prime remastered, right? It would just be like a resolution bump, like just what they did, like the Mario Odyssey update, right? That's all you'd really want from it.
They already did all the work to make it work on Switch.
Exactly, like a Switch 2 compatibility patch, not an addition, to use their terminology. Yeah, but that's coming for good news for Zach's Fantasy League, I guess. That's coming out December 4th.
Maybe, assuming
it's good.
Reviews come out by the end of the year.
There is that, yeah.
Depends how long it is.
I think
People
it will
hold off their reviews until they finished it, and it's actually a reasonably long game. Maybe there won't be enough reviews for my score.
I think it'll be fine. Assuming the game itself is fine. Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting DLC pretty quickly.
Unlike Mario Kart.
Unlike Mario Kart, yes. Don't get me talking about Mario Kart. It is weird how little is happening to Mario Kart to some extent. Well, is it weird? Or is it just Nintendo being Nintendo? Like, it's weird that Mario Kart's not getting a lot of updates, and then all of a sudden Bonanza's getting one almost immediately after launch. If you take those two things and be like, this is core Nintendo doing weird stuff, or two different philosophies. It's I don't know. It feels weird. Yeah, Donkey Kong's getting DLC, adding DK Island as a playable area, and most interestingly, I suppose, adding a kind of roguelike flow to the game, where you start on DK Island and you play that, but then once you've done that, it unlocks the ability to roguelike run the other areas in some form.
Unusual for Nintendo.
Well, it's just the same as the Splatoon roguelike mode, where Nintendo have finally caught up to a trend that was 10 years old.
Sure. I mean, less so. I mean, it's less like the Splatoon thing in that it's not actually dedicated content, right? I guess DK Island is kind of dedicated new content, but the where you play Side Order is all, and the enemies of Side Order are all brand new. Well, I guess you're the Bonanza authority here, Zach. Does it cast any interest?
I mean, not especially. I don't really I don't exactly. I guess it depends on what the restrictions are rather than the bonuses. Because obviously, when it's you can level up the multipliers of all the enemy. If you kill enemies, the enemies give you more emerald rather than smashing the emeralds directly or whatever. And it's and that's where the roguelike stuff comes in.
Yeah.
But it's as I said, towards the end of Bonanza, once you have all the powers, it's just and there's the one power which is supremely efficient at just stripping the entire terrain really quickly. It's isn't that just going to be the one tactic that you use? Or
do you even just not start with anything? And it's you've got to build up all of those.
Well, sure. That is I mean, they I forget.
It sort of looked like you had all the powers. They
showed the skill tree briefly, and it had a new set of skills for emerald skills or whatever at the end. But I don't know if they were implying that that's as you're progressing through the run, you're actually going into the skill tree to unlock things as if it had reset your skill tree, and then you're unlocking them through that way.
But that's a little less interesting, right? Because if you find, is the skill tree still linear down each branch to an extent?
Well, the skill tree is not restricted at all.
Oh no, so you
just
pick it from
whatever you want.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not really a tree.
Unless, apart from, I guess, the bonanzas, you have to have the bonanza power to get those skills.
Sure,
but,
gotcha.
That's not really. that's just linear progress through the story, and in the if we're thinking of it in a roguelike context, maybe it will be you like unlock the bonanza with the first skill on that tree, and then you'll have access to the upgrades for it.
Yeah, maybe.
But then that would imply that you could just unlock the one bonanza that's really good at destroying terrain.
Yeah. Well, and is unlocking the skills that you've already know about from the main game like actually that interesting?
Probably not. Like unless they're going to put in skills that are like, well, no, I don't think they could even put in more skills that would be more specifically useful in this situation. Unless you, I mean, well, because I would assume that if there were going to be things that were more specifically useful, those would be the upgrades, like the things that give you multipliers on enemy kills instead of smashing terrain or whatever, or like maybe when you punch the emerald terrain it explodes and that therefore can chain react or something. That's the kind of roguelike upgrade I'd expect, but I wouldn't expect those to be in the skill tree.
Right.
Because they obviously do have this separate... You can see them on some of the UI where it's like showing you the stacks of the buffs or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to exactly work, but it... Because it's more built on top of the already existing skills, I feel like it's probably not going to be even as good as the Splatoon one.
Yeah. Well, and if I'm being critical of the Splatoon one, like I'd be a little bit worried that the upgrade system. I've always felt like Side Order's upgrade system should have been more impactful than it was.
Right, the percentages weren't high enough.
Yeah, exactly.
1% buff.
it didn't feel like a wild enough change by the end of a run.
You probably couldn't make Donkey Kong Bonanza too much more wild than it got towards the end, because then the frame rate would die.
Right, yeah. Was that out like now, or was it soonish?
I think it is already out.
Okay, right. So there's probably I haven't seen much written about it. If it is out now, but I forgot to write the date down. So sorry, but yeah, interesting. How about some? I haven't written this down. But how do you feel about paid DLC for games that haven't come out yet?
You've kind of skipped over at least one thing.
Oh, have I?
You've skipped over Pokemon Animal Crossing.
Oh, I didn't kind of skip over it. Like I knew that was coming, but I wanted to do this one first. Like it's written there.
Oh, you did it in the other order.
Yeah. Was Pocopia first?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. We'll talk about that then. Hey, a Ditto becomes a human and tries to run a farm.
I don't know why they had the Ditto become a human. Like, it could have just been a Pokemon.
It just saw the Pokedex, right, and it was like, I'm going to take the form of this guy.
It's obviously like some kind of, as occasionally happens in Pokemon and Nintendo products, it's like, this is the post-apocalypse where all the humans have died, so obviously this Ditto is going to become a human in order to run this town of Pokemon. Which doesn't make any sense. Why not just be a Pokemon?
Well, just be a Pokemon. Yeah.
Especially because it just uses... the whole point of the Ditto, of it being a Ditto, obviously, is it can inherit the moves of the other Pokemon in order to do things around the town, like harvest crops or whatever. It's just like, that's why you just have a grass Pokemon there. Like, this Ditto seems entirely pointless, especially the bit where it's a human for some reason.
Yeah.
And the fact that by design, Dittos impersonating humans look creepy. Or like they're always the creepy version of every Pokemon that they are.
Well, yeah. And also,
because of the eyes, right?
I don't remember if it was like it's some early Pokedex thing, but like I feel like there was actually some lore reason about why Dittos didn't become humans.
No.
Wasn't that a plot point in the Pokemon Detective Pikachu or whatever?
A Ditto does become a human in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was weird then. But also just... counter to that previous argument about there potentially being a lore reason why they didn't, it's also just more lore reasons of why humans are actually Pokemon.
Right, yeah.
Which is kind of hinted at in various other Pokedex entries for other Pokemon. But you can't catch them with a ball yet. That's Power World.
In Pokemon lore, has anyone ever tried to ball a human?
Well, that's what I was saying. I don't think they've ever made any note of that, which is why Power World did it, obviously. It's funny.
Because it's funny.
But anyway, yeah.
Pokopia.
I don't know about Pokemon Animal Crossing. It's like I don't know. That kind of game is always like how complicated is the mechanics kind of situation, and it's Pokemon, so probably not very. How much did they rip off Animal Crossing? Probably exactly enough.
Right, yeah.
For it to be an Animal Crossing game. Although for some reason some people are like, oh, they're ripping off Power World. It's like, not really. Like, I mean, yes, Power World has like farming and base building and stuff, but that's just Animal Crossing in the Nintendo universe. That's what they're actually ripping off.
Or Harvest Moon, which
I
is
suppose.
It's not a Nintendo property, but it's associated with Nintendo platforms.
So then the DLC that you were talking about?
Yeah, so Pokemon ZA, not a game that's not out yet. You can already pre-order the DLC for Pokemon ZA called Mega Dimensions.
I don't remember whether they did this with Scarlet and Violet, because I think they announced the DLC for that, if not before it came out, then like super fast after it came out. Like way before the DLC was ready, in other words. It was like it was a pre-order for that as well.
Yeah.
And they did it for Sword and Shield, but I think that one was after it had released. Because Sword and Shield's case, it was like, oh, we're going to put back all the Pokemon that we took out because of the whole problem with that game. But yeah, I don't know. They seem to be shifting the release announcement further, so now it is literally pre-release.
Right, yeah.
We're telling you about the DLC that's coming before the actual games come out.
I haven't written it down, but I get the feeling weren't there other Nintendo titles listed in this that like up front just said, and there will be paid DLC coming to these things? Was that like in Mario Tennis or something? It's like, oh, there'll be paid tennis for this as well. Paid DLCs for this as well, sorry.
I don't remember. Maybe.
I feel like there was an awful lot of the mention of the term paid DLC in this thing.
Yes.
Like, and maybe it's just for games I haven't written down, or wasn't that interested in the first place. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, like running back to like Hyrule Warriors for a second, is like Dynasty Warriors Origins turned up in this thing as well as getting a Switch 2 version that looked to be running noticeably much worse.
Yes, so like clearly they've only done this engine work in the Zelda engine version of this.
I mean, Origins has a disadvantage, I suppose, in that it's like a PS5 and Xbox Series X targeted game that's having to be downgraded to work on Switch, whereas Age of Imprisonment is obviously targeting Switch 2 first. But yeah, I just thought that was like noticeable. It's just like, oh yeah, this game looks worse noticeably.
It looks like Dynasty Warriors.
It looks well, I mean, that's hard. That's hard for it not to. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's
kind of, except for the whole Resident Evil.
Oh,
for some reason that was in a Nintendo Direct.
I mean, that was already announced. We already knew about Requiem, but the fact that it's getting a Switch.
The little kids watching that trailer after the Mario movie announcement.
But yeah, Requiem getting a Switch 2 announcement. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Yeah, and jury's still out about whether what we saw was it actually running on Switch 2 grade hardware. There's some analysis that's been done that seems to suggest, like, well, yeah, it's clearly not the version of the trailers we've seen already, but it still looked somewhat unbelievably good.
And then their last announcement was another Fire Emblem, which,
Oh, yeah, but, yeah.
Don't really care about that.
Yeah, you know me. Not fussed. I mean, it looked fine. I've got no beef against Fire Emblem.
I have beef against Fire Emblem only because it stops them from making Advance Wars. That's always my beef with Fire Emblem.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
My eternal beef with Fire Emblem.
Why are you making that when you could be making more Advance Wars?
But then, like, I think like the problem is I bet that remake didn't do what they wanted it to do.
That's not what they should be basing anything on.
No, but you know they do, right? That's why they make these things to an extent, or sometimes why they make these things, right? To be like, oh, we need to gauge enthusiasm for Advance Wars. What do we do? Let's put 1 and 2 out again.
But that remake had its own problems.
Yeah, it did. Like a change of art style being the biggest, right?
Well, sure, but also delaying the release.
Oh yeah, that whole thing. I forgot about that. That's Nintendo Direct. At least we got a Direct. It was a nice chunky Direct as well. Still no F-Zero. Or Star Fox.
Or Mario Kart.
Or Mario Kart, yeah.
Any more long dead Nintendo franchises you want to revive?
Mac Rider. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Mother.
Oh, I mean, the internet would go mad if there was like a new Mother game being made, a new Earthbound. That would be break the internet territory.
Right. Well, that's the news, I guess. What else is
There's
going
more
on?
news. Balatro 1.1 is not coming out this year.
Is that news?
I mean, kinda. It was teased for like basically since the game came out
Yes,
that
it's
he
been
was
teased for like well over a year.
yeah
At this point.
that there was to be an expected large free update with a mechanical update, not just the Friends of Jimbo updates that have been happening. That adds stuff to the game. It's been teased since the start to come out this year. That's no longer true. Local Thunk has made a statement basically saying, "Well, I just don't want to crunch," and it's like, which is fair enough. Actually, he doesn't want to crunch, nor did he say he wanted to make the 1.1 update the last thing he does on Balatro. So, presumably, like, I guess that means he's got so many ideas. It's like that 1.1 is going to be big, but there's probably more to come after that, which is like, you want to like add a little bit of spice to your disappointment, and he's succeeded there, right? It's like, there's going to be more after 1.1. All right, okay, this is fine, let it cook. And finally, Team Reptile have announced their next game is a sequel to Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Called Hyperfunk. I don't know if it's actually called Bomb Rush Hyperfunk or just Hyperfunk. The trailer just said Hyperfunk. So
okay. And it's a sequel. Okay.
They've said very little. There was just this stylish ass trailer that came out, and it's like, yeah, okay, it's more of that. I will play this. 100%.
Yeah. Automatic way.
I will play this in lieu of Sega getting around to whatever the hell the Jet Set Radio 3 they're supposed to be.
They would do something.
Well, yeah, they've released like prototype screenshots of Jet Set Radio 3, but like we have absolutely no idea when that thing is going to happen.
Okay, well, at least we know that the Bomb Rush people could deliver a game.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, I will be playing more of it. I'd like to see, because I liked Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. It didn't quite nail the essence of Jet Set Radio, but it's pretty close. So I'm really excited to see if they can understand the concept of love.
Yeah, can they understand?
That was like one of the first comments under the video, was just understand.
Understand.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Hype. Get hype. But Zach's right. Like, it wouldn't have hurt them to perhaps make a Lethal League or go back to Lethal League, or perhaps just add, like, surprise, we added a character to Lethal League plays. That would be super sweet. But no, they're not a massive team. It's quite a small operation, and focusing on this, probably not a bad choice. I'm here for you. I don't know if we ever talked about this. Like, that's the end of my news, but like, I don't know if we ever talked about this on the podcast. But did you see that they put out some gameplay stuff for that Screamer reboot?
Yeah,
it looks kind of interesting, but it's kind of not at the same time. I don't know how I feel about it. It's like, it's quite mechanics heavy, right? There's like like meters and bars you need to be aware of. It's like, it's almost racing with some fighting game mechanics. It's interesting. It has my attention.
Who's making this?
Milestone. The guys that made Screamer and Screamer 2. It's the original dev team. They're still about.
What do you mean it's the original dev team?
the Italian company known as Milestone are still about. It's the same. It's the same. They've just been busy making MotoGP games for all this time, as it turns out. Anyway, that's the news.
That's the news. It's time for what have you been playing? What have you been playing, Rob?
Do we want to get this out of the way?
We probably did. We already talked about it a bit.
Caution, spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead for Tears of
the... out for a long, long time.
Yeah, for Tears of the Kingdom. I finished it this morning.
Woo! Okay, where do we start with you, or do we actually start with Zach? I'm a bit confused.
I should have used this as a segue, I suppose, but let's recap of my opinions of Tears of the Kingdom in general. I suppose it's a near perfect game.
Yeah.
I still think the weapon degradation, even though it's improved in Tears, is a problem. Like, it's still annoying as all hell. The amount of time you spend in menus in that game, just switching between things and getting stuff out and doing stuff, is too much. Personally, I think it does break the flow of it quite a lot, and that becomes more and more true, I think, as you play through the game and you start trying to just get shit done, right? Especially towards the end of the game, you're like, oh, I've got all this stuff, but it'll be better if I switch between it all the time rather than just, you start doing that a lot, and I do think that's a problem, but it's a near perfect game. It's hard to deny. It's so
great,
unbelievably good. And with this Switch 2 update, like, just improving everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
so nice.
Pretty much everything about it is better. Like, it looks nice, it runs nice. Yeah, it's not a perfect 60. I have, as I said before, I have made it falter a few times, but it's pretty good. Physics, although they become less important once you've finished all the shrines, I guess. Like, you don't do too much Zonite stuff, like, outside of the shrine. Oh, I never really did too much Zonite stuff, I suppose, or construction stuff outside, especially towards the end of the game. It just became less of a need to do it. But the physics of that are still impressive when you do toy around with it. Anyway, that's my general opinion. I would say the ending was fun, but didn't blow my mind as much as I was kind of. I felt like it was a bit the end. Maybe it was you guys' fault, or just the internet in general's fault. Like, I don't know. I felt the ending had been hyped a bit, so when I got to it, it's just like, well, that feels like a Zelda ending. It's well made. I don't want to take away from it too much. Like, it's incredibly well made, and I do I was watching those cutscenes, especially at the end, and how it's all presented and stuff, and I am thinking to myself, watching these, going, Nintendo really should do more cinematic stuff more often. I know they're a game first company, and that's to be commended, but this stuff is so well done, like, just from a direction standpoint, like how it's presented, how it plays out, the final last explosion is just so badass. It looks so cool.
So ridiculous.
It's just like, well, please give me more of this. Like, if there was a way of them giving more time to the cinematic aspects of what they're producing here, don't get me wrong, it's an enormous game, but it's like, I think back to all of the cuts, all the tears you find, all of the scenes you see, anything that's actually presented in this, any cutscene they do is great. And it's like, I like, please, like, maybe let's have a game that's not quite so big and has a bit more of this. Can you try that? Can we try a tight 8? Not in Zelda, necessarily, but in anything. A tight 8 Star Fox with good cutscenes? Like,
Star Fox cutscenes? Don't know about
that. But it was...
I think a lot of and for myself as well, like, I don't know about the hype over the ending, but I think it's a large part of it is because Breath of the Wild is a near perfect game, I think, but like it definitely has a weak ending compared to some previous.
I mean, it's not hype about the story; it's hype about the actual gameplay.
Yeah, I mean,
like Breath of the Wild's ending sucked. Like the pre-boss was moderately okay, but then the final boss was a cutscene that you just shot arrows at.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah. Because I didn't think a huge amount of the gameplay wise of the last dragon fight, right?
That part of it was less good. But
it's not a great deal to that.
It was more better than the previous one.
Sure,
better than the giant pig.
Yeah, better than the giant pig.
Yeah, there's not a great deal to it. But it thematically makes perfect sense. Yes. So I know why it's there. Like a little bit of me wishes maybe it was a tiny bit more fun, and maybe they did like a mechanics twist. Like for a hot second, I was worried it was going to turn into they're going to pull a Star Fox at the end of this, right? And we're going to get a terrible fight like the end of Star Fox Adventures. And I was actually a bit of me was like, is that going to be a good thing, or is like it could be the most amazing thing, or it could be not? And it turns out it was not a thing. So it's like, I don't know how I feel about that, but never mind. Let's go do the thing.
Could have turned a bit Panzer Dragoon, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was a bit of me hoping for that.
Yeah,
but the fact, as I say, the ending fight is perfectly thematic. The fact that how it ends in particular is just like, oh yeah, of course, parallel. Yeah. All right, it's that's I see what you did there. Smart. And obviously the dragon bit is so much easier than the actual Ganon fight.
Well, that's the thing that I was always wanting to talk about in spoilers for it's like, I did mention it in a non-spoilery way right after I did it. It's like, that fight is actually kind of a real fight for once.
It's like, nice.
It's like an actual real boss fight.
Yeah, it is nice. It kind of highlights all of the positives and negatives of the combat system, right? Because I don't think the combat system is perfect here. Like, it's super flexible and wild and weird shit happening, blah, all that. We know all that. But, like, when you actually get down to the core mechanics of it, like, standing there with sword and shield, like...
Yes, you don't have moves.
You don't have moves.
A move.
Yeah. And as we've talked about many, many times, like, the flurry rush timing still feels weird after 250 odd hours in this game. Like,
yeah, I couldn't get it.
It's still
at all.
Sometimes it clicks perfectly. Like, leading up to this, like I did the Lionel fight. I did the Depths Coliseum Lionel fight before this, which is so much harder.
Well, you have to do how many of them in a row do you have to do?
It's like 5 of them.
Yeah, you have to do every grade, right?
Oh, and then you get a rock silver as the last one.
Oh my god, I didn't do that.
That was pretty tough. I did it on my second try, but the first try I fluffed it so hard. And I did the thing you did. Like I at that point I didn't have a fully upgraded set of Fierce Deity armor, but by the time I fought Ganon, I did.
Right.
So I don't know if that made too much of a difference, but yeah. I like even fighting those Lionels, it's just like, yeah, the better way to fight them is to get your flurry rush timing down, right? That is the best approach to them.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Lionels especially is like, you basically only ever try and flurry rush one attack and just avoid all the other ones, because there's always one,
or have a strong enough shield to just tank it all.
I'm sure they always have one type of their attack that's really easy to get the timing on, and then like several of the other ones are much harder. Like, because the stupid charge rush that they do, that one's super easy.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, do you think? I think that's one of the weirder ones. I think half the time it would just dodge to the side and it's like, oh, I'm fine, but that it didn't flurry off it. And sometimes I'd be friggin' miles away, or it looked friggin' miles away, and I'd jump to the side and be like, oh, that's flurry.
Super easy. It's like you can get it super early because of the because of the speed that they're moving at.
But that's the thing. It felt like it had an early bias. I think the charge.
Oh, yeah,
like I think the timing windows for flurry rushes across the game are quite odd.
Yes.
And inconsistent. Which is a shame, but I found in the Ganon fight in particular, I did not get that down at all. No, I think I was getting kind of lucky with them, and I found some of there's that one attack where he's readying a bow attack, and these flames come in from all around you, and they not only do gloom damage, but they do take away a heart damage,
yeah,
and which is nasty. And I found that, like, almost... I don't know what to do in that scenario. I was like, well, I'm going to fucking tank this. Like, I'll take the hit from the flame, because then whatever he does afterwards, I can't get hit by, so that's fine. Because I'm in my iframes at that point. And I found getting when to... There were times, I think, where I flurried him, and he would... But it didn't... Like, the timing was off in a weird way that he could just flurry out of it. Like, there was like a flurry followed by a flurry.
That's his ability. That's the whole point of that boss fight.
Yeah, I know, but not
hit back to you.
But not when you're in your own flurry. I didn't think that was.
No, he does it immediately. It's like if you trigger in the final phase of that fight, if you trigger a flurry rush, he immediately counters it with his one,
and then you had to re-flurry.
Well, or parry, which is how I did it.
Oh, parry! Yeah,
you pop out your flurry, and then as he dives in to do his attack, you just parry it. That was my method.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I kind of forgot parry was a thing.
Well, as is always the case, really. Yeah.
I found that like re-flurrying off his counter, the attack he does after his back dodge was the most effective.
I think that was why I think that was one that I was having problems with the time with, which is why I just went to the parry instead. Because I was like, oh, this seems kind of awkward to get the re-flurry, but maybe the parry will work. Oh, it kind of does. Obviously, parrying is not nearly as powerful as flurry rushing, because you don't get as much damage output. Because it doesn't stun them forever, but...
And it was quite nice that if you're using the Master Sword with a nice fuse, it's like the Master Sword doesn't run out of energy, right? It's like the one time it is actually like infinite. And
yes,
it's like...
but the trouble with that is that, like, using the Master Sword makes that fight too short and too easy.
I guess. I had a pretty nice damage
output.
Yeah, I had a pretty nice fuse. I had a silver bokoblin, silver boss bokoblin. Sorry, horn attached to my Master Sword at the time, and it's like, well, this is pretty potent.
But then counterintuitively, well, not counterintuitively, but a problem with. So I was like, oh, I can't. Obviously, I know I can use the Master Sword and it will last forever because this is the Ganon boss fight, because that's the whole point. But I was like, because from the previous games, I was like, I knew that was going to probably make it too easy, and you just kill him real fast. I was like, so I'm not going to use the Master Sword. But then that means I never even knew that you could even do tennis, because you can do tennis with the Master Sword, but you have to use the Master Sword. When he's in the final phase, when he's doing all those attacks that cause gloom pillars or gloom shots to come at you, you can reflect those with the Master Sword.
Sorry, wait, in Tears?
Yes, in Tears.
I don't remember that attack.
Well, no, you wouldn't, because you wouldn't even know to do it. Any of those gloom balls...
Oh, the flamey balls, right?
Yeah, the red flames or whatever. Like, when he's doing the
the ones that chase you.
Yeah, or the homing ones. Any of those. When he's doing that arrow attack where the flames draw in, you can just do a spin attack and it would deflect them all as they're coming at you.
Right, that makes total sense.
But I wouldn't have... I wasn't using the Master Sword, so I didn't know that. And I never would have really perceived that was something that you would do. Even though that's like a Zelda classic, it just doesn't seem like
it's not a mechanic. It's not a mechanic anywhere else in the game.
Well, no. But when has Ganon Tennis ever been a mechanic in any other Zelda game apart from when you're fighting Ganon?
Oh, when you're fighting... Oh, I didn't even think. You're right. It's so obvious.
Tennis.
It's not really tennis in this version. They just you hit them once and they just home onto him.
I guess the thing that made me thought, like, the circle thing makes sense now that you've thought about now that you've said it out loud. But the other attack where he's like, there's like homing balls coming at you.
Yeah, you can get those as well.
But because there's lots of them, I thought like, but if I hit one, then it doesn't matter. Like the others are still going to get me. Like I thought it would only get an effect, like not because there's several of them, right? Yeah. It doesn't obviously read as a tennisable effect.
I mean, that's one where if you use the spin attack, it makes it easier because the spin attack lasts long enough to scoop them all
hit them. Yeah. Huh.
But again, if you do that, if you have the Master Sword and you do that, those do damage to him as well, so it makes that fight even shorter.
Right, yeah.
So I'm kind of okay that I didn't know that and didn't use the Master Sword because it made that fight more epic, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I survived that fight pretty well. Like, he wasn't really damaging me. He's not super damaging. Well, like, with a fully upgraded set of armor.
And the gloom resistance or whatever.
Well, I didn't have any gloom resistance.
Gloom... If you've prepared gloom food or whatever to help you with them destroying all your health. Although obviously it doesn't recover the
So I had recovered most of my broken hearts before the Ganon bit because I had, after the army fight, right? And so I'd recovered pretty much, not quite to full, but pretty close to full before starting the Ganon bit.
I guess if he one-shotted you, it wouldn't be very fun. Like,
Well, no.
some of the enemies do that, don't they?
But he was only really doing like 1, maybe 2 hearts of gloom damage per hit, so it was pretty tankable.
But also permanent damage in some
permanent,
cases.
yeah. When it's especially when the flames, once you'd got a gloom heart, it would just fully break the heart, which was kind of fun, kind of cool. But yeah, it was a first time win.
That battle where I just did a lot of damage by cheesing it with like, you know, like a bow that multiplies the arrow by 5, and then you just do bomb arrow or whatever. It's like so much damage.
Attach some Gibdo bones to a 5 arrow. Yeah.
Yes, obviously he's not any good at dealing with rage attacks.
No.
They really should have given him just like a deflection move.
Yeah,
spin the spear and deflect all the arrows. That'd be real cool. Or maybe even limit it like that. Have it only when he's using the spear he can do it, so you actually have to think about when you're going to attack him with arrows or something.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy when like the bit where he splits into 6 or whatever, or 5 or 6 different things, and then the sages turn up and they basically deal with the clones, so you can deal with the real one
for like 3 seconds, and then they will die not die,
or get pushed away. Yeah. And it's like, I thought that was at least cool, because I bet me was like, I hate crowd control in this game. Well,
that's the whole point. That's as we said immediately the first time we talked about this game, or one of the first times. It's like as soon as you get the sages, you realise why like the boss goblins have a bunch of goblins and all that stuff. It's like, because
they deal
with other people.
Yeah,
you're not meant to be fully on your own.
Yeah, because they deal with them. Yeah, that was nice.
Same thing for the army fight beforehand, which is like, obviously if you're doing that by yourself, which is okay. So going to that part of the fight,
you could
the army fight.
You could turn the sages off. Right? Oh no, they're in person.
They physically turn up.
Right, yeah.
The army fight.
You go back to the army fight. That's the one bit that I have always been super interested about. What would happen if you go to that fight immediately? Because if you go to the go down there immediately before you have any of the sages, would they know to show up?
Yeah, good point. What happens?
Not only just for that fight, but then in the sequence at the end, all the bosses show up, and then the sages are like, we'll hold them off, and then you go ahead.
But they won't be there.
But they wouldn't be there if they didn't know.
No, you have to fight the bosses one by one if you haven't defeated them.
See, that's what I figured would happen, because that's basically how it happens in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Is that if you don't free the Divine Beast in Breath of the Wild, then the Blights turn up at the pre-boss in the Ganon fight.
Right,
so you fight them there instead. So I figured that'd be the case for this as well. But then how do you fight the bosses if the sages aren't there?
Yeah, because they have like mechanics tied to
powers are important, aren't they?
Yeah, or do you just need like some sort of the right fusey fruit to do the elemental effect? Or
well, no,
is that
because
enough?
Even to just fight Colgera, you'd need Tulin, because you need to be able to fly. You need updrafts and shit. Well, I guess
you don't really need Tulin for that.
You don't need Tulin technically.
Yeah,
it could just, but you would for the whatever the fucking lava one's called. You need to fire Yunobo at its armor to break it, to make it fall down so you can stab it in the eye.
Can you just bomb it? Does that not work?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, that's why I was always...
you can find out. You just start a new game and
well, that's what I said. That's why I said I was saying that I wanted to do that, but I don't think I can get... I got to that fight from with 4 hearts. But obviously I can't do that whole fucking army fight by myself with 4 hearts and not very much equipment.
Yeah, I can see that's hard.
Gonna need a bit of pre-preparation.
You're gonna need some decent weapons.
By having the sages there to fight and also mostly distract,
yes.
You can just run in circles around the army, basically.
Well, yeah.
It would take a long time to do that without them.
Yes.
But you can just kite them. I guess I needed maximum sprints to be able to do that. They would just catch up with you if you were at the start of the game.
Yeah, it was like when I was doing it by myself, I was like, technically I can run around and avoid getting hit, but then I'm not doing any damage.
Yeah.
No damage
take
source.
ages.
It feels like you need to do like pretty much everything in the game apart from, or do a great deal of the game apart from the actual.
Well, yeah, I was saying that in theory, what I would probably do if I was going to try and do that would be like go and do enough shrines to get like 10 hearts, and then maybe try it. Shrines and like general equipment as you've been progressing through the shrines, get some good swords and stuff.
Sure.
Do we know if there's a skip for that bit, or if speedrunners have to fight that?
Well, the speedrun clips out of bounds at the start of the depths, and they just fall directly into the Ganon room, so they don't do any of that.
Okay. There's a glitch.
Yeah.
Okay. course.
Which is why I said, was like why I've never seen that happen. Because I watched a speed run, but it clips out of bounds, so I've never seen that fight without any of the sages or anything. I mean, even that bit in the Ganon fight where the sages come back in, what if they're not there, and then you do have to crowd control like 6 Ganon clones?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm interested in. I mean, the boss rush, fine, that's weird, and how do you do that? But also well, maybe it doesn't go on the... Maybe... Is it a Molduga? No, Molduga is the sandfish, isn't it? Yeah. I forget what it's called. I know what you mean. Yeah, maybe he just doesn't go on the ceiling in that fight. Like, maybe there isn't a ceiling to go onto in that, or a near enough ceiling for him to go onto so you don't need Yunobo.
I mean, how do you even fight the corrupted construct if you don't have Mineru? Because that's meant to be a construct on construct fight.
Right.
I think I tried to do that because that was the only one I hadn't done, and I didn't realise that was the end of the game.
Right.
And I think I gave up. I think I was like, no, I'm obviously not supposed to be here when I was trying to fight the construct without the construct. Yeah. In the depths.
It must be possible.
Well, it's always in the depths, but I mean in the after the army fight, I mean.
Yeah. Huh. Must be possible, but yeah, how would you do it?
I mean, presumably at least in the Ganon's army version, you won't have the goop all over the floor. Because that was really why you couldn't not be on Mineru in that fight in the temple.
Yeah, I was definitely running around with that construct running around. Yeah.
So yeah, that's most of what we need to talk about. Oh, there was one other thing, which is just not really anything to talk about. It was just funny that I also wanted to bring up, like the classic health bar joke. That was
the health bar is great. I love that. So the fact that it goes up and then up some more, then keeps going up.
I kind of wish they'd actually gone all the way and had it go literally off screen, but it stops like just at the very edge.
Oh, it's pretty great though. I love that.
It's a cool image, all the dragon stuff, and
I know
obviously by that point you've won, but still it was cool, and the image of flying of skydiving after Zelda or whatever.
Yeah,
was cool. Yeah, that was nice, poignant. Not quite, not quite as. I mean, I do feel like the end of Ocarina or whatever. Obviously, we played it when we were kids or whatever, but when it goes at the end, well, Navi flies off. That's poignant, right? Don't you think?
Yeah,
like, what's he do? Fly off into he's in the temple.
Yeah,
he just flies off out the window. It's like, bye.
Open window.
So yeah, and then at the end when you get a flashback to first meeting Zelda and it turns sepia or whatever, it's like, this is poignant. There's nothing quite like that in the modern games. I guess that's the closest is falling, but you don't really have that much association with Zelda apart from through the visions,
through
right?
the tears, yeah,
through the tears, yeah.
And then you have the post credits bit. I guess that's moderately more poignant.
The post credits bit, like, it was nice to have a little bit extra, but also didn't really say anything.
Well, no,
no, other than you've lost your master hand and you've lost Mineru, right?
Yes.
Spoilers. But which then makes it like, how are they getting down? I guess they still have gliders, it's fine.
Yeah, they still have all the Zonai tech that's mysteriously left.
Well, do they though? But we don't know. Do they?
I mean, did
that all disappear with the hand or the essence of?
I mean, you wouldn't be able to use the hand to connect it all together as easily.
Yeah,
you'd have to do it the Yiga way.
However they're doing it. Yeah.
So remind me, Zach, what's the thing about the reward that you get for getting all the shrines? You get like armor that turns you into an ancient hero who's like a
visage armor, which I was just interested in from like, it's just this weird kind of bit of not lore where it's just like, who is this guy?
Like, you turn into looking like a Zonai.
He's not really a Zonai, even. Like, he's differently shaped.
Because he's human proportion.
Well, and also, like, the face structure and stuff. It's a bit different. Doesn't have as big ears or anything. It's like, is this... So, people were speculating about this being like, this is more like a Zonai Hylian crossbreed in the early days, right? Like, this is what they would have... This is probably what Zelda's ancestors actually looked like when they first started crossbreeding with the Zonai.
Right.
Maybe. But yeah, and then obviously my theory about that would be how they put a Link-type character in Age of Imprisonment, is just have that guy.
Do we know if Hylians... Yeah, I guess, do we know if Hylians even existed in the Zonai
Well, yeah, because
times?
they talk about it, right?
Oh, do
when
they?
Zelda's talking about the mural right at the start, where it's like the Zonai descended and the Kingdom of Hyrule was formed by the union between the Hylians and the Zonai, whatever.
Yes, I remember.
Which implies that there was sex.
Hot damn.
Because Zelda they say specifically that Zelda has a bloodline connection to Sonya and Maru, so...
Yeah, it's got to have happened at some point. Why hasn't that happened between the Gorons?
Or any of the races.
Yeah. Would you want a Goron cross?
I mean, I guess it has happened between the Gerudo and the Hylians.
Sure. I mean, yeah, Hudson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hudson and... What's the daughter called? Matterson? Is it like... Yeah. It's a cool game.
Yep.
It's a cool game. Glad I finished it.
Unlike Breath of the Wild.
Unlike Breath of the Wild, yeah. They never actually finished that. Yeah, it's sort of weird, because it's one of those games where I'm actually like... You know, there are some games you just actually, in a way, don't want to finish.
Yeah.
But I'd left myself with very little fun stuff left to do, to be honest. I'd been grinding dragons, right, to get the first deity army up, and like finding Dinral, as it turned out, was pretty annoying because I'd completely forgotten where he was and where he hung out, and it's like, I knew he was up near Death Mountain somewhere, but he was never bloody there when I walked over. And there is actually annoyingly like a draw distance limit on the dragons,
right?
So it's like I'd be standing somewhere like where it's like, oh, I should be able to see, but he's not like there, and I'd just sort of go, oh, fine, I'll just fly. There's bound to be something. I'll fly that way, and then he'd pop into view, and I'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was having that.
They're
problem.
in the depths like half the time, or more than half the time.
But like, I don't know, you can never bloody find them down there.
I was having the draw distance problem with when I was trying to track where Zelda's movement goes through the sky, because it's like...
I always found the light dragon. The light dragon was super easy. Like...
Well, it's super easy a lot of the time, but like because I was trying to map out the full route to try and figure out where would be best to get on, basically.
Right, yeah.
And there's just bits where there's no sky islands anywhere near, so you just like, she probably goes from here to here, but I can't actually see her at any point in here because I can't get close enough.
Right.
Unless you've been a flying machine, I suppose. Or ride on. But then you'd have to get on. And the whole point I was doing that was to work out where the best place was. And I forget what one I determined was actually the best place in the end. It's pretty easy off just the back of the Great Sky Island. Like, once her route changes to be the after the tutorial or whatever. Once she actually flies past the Great Sky Island rather than just sitting in the distance. It's relatively easy. And for some reason, the Zora's Sky Temple, there's a pretty decent jump from there to one of the places Zelda goes on that route.
Right.
I think those were the main two that I used.
Yeah. I didn't finish all the side quests I know about. I didn't bother chasing the Molduga because I didn't need it. Like, so still got that wanted Molduga mission that you get pretty early. Like,
but that's only one Molduga.
Yeah. I didn't bother doing that. I never got the skeletal horse thing. Never bothered doing that. What else didn't I do? Well, I mean, I still haven't got all of the minor armor, the glow armor. I never found the last piece of that. I'm still a bit confused by the statue in the Temple of Time that doesn't give you a side quest, but says you need to go underground or something. And
oh, right.
I don't know what the hell that's about.
The last of the Pose statues, right?
Well, yeah, because one of them still, yeah. I guess when I talk, although I had found enough of the what they call the bargainer statues to get all of the gloom resistant armor. Like there are still when you talk to him about Brethren locations, he still says, "Oh, I don't know about one of them."
Yes, it's the last one, and that's what the Temple of Time one is referencing.
Right, they're referencing the same thing. So I don't know what that's about, but it doesn't register as a quest.
No,
which is interesting and a bit weird. So I never did that. And I never cleared the storm. I still.
Did you ever go back to that?
I had a little. Well, yes. Like what? It's there.
Well,
I mean, you can tell me now. I don't care. But
theoretically, it should have been like so. When you finished the fourth temple and have the 4 original sages,
right,
and then you go back to Lookout Landing and talk to Pure about it, and then they speculate that there's a 5th sage, and they're like, but where else can we look? And then Pure mentions you should look in some of the minor towns like Kikariko.
Right.
And then you go there, and then you get the ring ruins, and the guy who's been there translating them the whole time is like, oh shit, this is pointing at the existence of a 5th sage. And then we should go over into the jungle and look for it. And then you go to the tower there, and then they're there, and then it starts a quest line into the jungle in the Wiggly Dragon River.
Right.
And in order to turn off the storm, you have to use this is why you couldn't do it before this point, is you have to use Riku's lightning to hit the lightning rods on the ruins in the jungle, which open doors.
There are lightning rods?
Yes. Which you then get the lightning resistance armor.
Yeah.
Which then allows you to go up there without...
Wait. But I have like the rubber armor, because I've got 2 of the bits. Is it a different lightning?
It's the one that's styled like the dragon, like the ice one and the fire one that you find in the relevant areas.
Okay. I don't know that I found any of that for any of the dragons.
But yeah, there's a lot.
This is news.
I mean, they're completely useless armor-wise.
Sure.
They have terrible stats, and then weird, like, lightning-specific bonuses or whatever. Or fire or ice-specific bonuses.
Weird. I just find it weird that I missed all of that. Like, I didn't even know... well, maybe you'd look at my armor list, but I don't...
Yeah, but you just didn't realise that was one of those pieces.
Yeah, maybe.
It's quite possible. Because you do... A couple of... It's
I
weird
don't know
because...
if I found the armor for the other...
No.
The other dragons beyond that one. Because that one's obviously part of the mainline quest.
You get the full lightning set as part of that quest if you don't do what Rob did.
Yeah.
But the other 2 are like... Some parts of them you get real easily. Like the easiest one is probably the I think it's the torso part of the Ice Dragon set is in a cave right outside the entrance to the Rito town. It's like just if you're following the road up from the stable, there's just a cave right there, and that's what the first part of it is in there.
Huh.
So that was pretty.
I guess I must have not got that cave. That must be one of the like 13 caves I've not got. But I ended up my cave and well counts ended up pretty similar in the end. Like I'm missing about 13 or 14 wells and about the same number of caves.
Right. But yes, that was the whole thing that Rob somehow didn't do.
Well, okay.
I guess you didn't. I mean, that was another one of those cases where it doesn't give you a quest marker, where it's like pure just implies that you should go to the smaller towns like Kikirigo when you talk to her about the 5th sage.
So there's a certain amount to, it's left to you to figure out.
You don't just get a map marker to say go to Kikirigo.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I'm pretty thrilled in a way that it's super impressed that that's just a thing you can do that I could do organically without even really thinking about it, just not knowing it's like that was a thing you could do, that it could be cleared, and just
it's cool,
just futz around in it and be like oh okay, this has done a thing.
Although it was still the case that you kind of knew that you were doing it wrong because of it being
so clunky.
Like it's like obviously there should be a mechanic to deal with this.
But I don't know what that mechanic is yet. So while I'm here now, let's just keep pushing. was basically how it went. That's funny. So yeah, I finished that.
That's all of the spoilers. Hooray!
I haven't played a huge amount else as a result of that. A tiny bit of Balatro, tiny bit of New Star GP, a little bit of. I'm very early days into Octohedron, which is a funky sort of puzzle platformer, I guess, with a really cool lo-fi VHS rave aesthetic to some new, but like geometric ray, like yeah, it's pretty neat. I played this at EGX like years ago, and was kind of taken by its style and its the feel and the thump of it all. So it's pretty, and I've had it in my Steam list for ages, and I thought like when I got the Steam Deck, I thought like, yeah, this is an obvious Steam Deck game. Like I'll play that. So I finally got around to starting that. It's pretty cool. I think it has like speed runner targets, and it has like it's okay. I should probably say its main mechanic is like you've got to get up to the top, right? But the way you move around the world is you put down platforms in midair, right? So you jump and then you push you have a platform button, and that puts the platform immediately under your feet. But that platform follows you when you then move laterally for a while before it disappears. And you have 2 at your disposal before you fall to the ground again, before they disappear, and you have to stand on. You have to touch grass or touch the equivalent of touch platform before you can remake them again. So it's about using them the platforms can smash the light bulbs on the level, and you then get some of those light bulbs create flowers. So and you need to collect the flowers in order to gain a collectible in like a sort of currency, but you need a number of those per zone in order to unlock the access to the next zone. So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get to the end of the level whilst getting the bits on the way. But it has like a par for getting to the end of the level with a certain number of platforms created.
Right.
So like there's an award for doing it. There's an award for 100%ing. There's a separate par for 100%ing the level with a certain number of platforms created. There's doing it without dying. There's speedrun targets as well. So every level has quite a lot of targets to potentially do, and I find most of them pretty difficult. Other than just getting, there's just a straight up just get 100%. Don't par 100% it, just 100% it. So I'm going for those primarily, and maybe the don't die target if you can. So there's plenty to go back to try and replay these levels and try and get that stuff. But I find it more fun just to try and do the 100% and just get through at the moment. And maybe I'll consider revisiting. But I don't know if I'm really in for doing these hardcore attempts just yet. The levels aren't super long. Like the speedrun challenges are usually like less than 2 minutes. But like playing them at a normal pace, you're probably taking 5 to 7-ish minutes to get through them rather than rushing while you're trying to figure them out and try to get through. But yeah, I really like the vibe. The music is super cool in a kind of laid back sort of dance beaty kind of way, and the world moves and flashes to the beat as well. It has like the background is almost like a disco floor, and so when you pick stuff up, it's flinging the colors across the disco floor. Just like it's got a nice look to it. I think it's cool. I will definitely be playing more of that. Octohedron. The other thing I've started playing, and I'm again very early days, is Doom: The Dark Ages.
Oh, on Game Pass.
On Game Pass on my PC, because I thought, since having finished Avowed, it's like I haven't really used my PC for much games, have I? I should probably throw this Nvidia card at something a bit heavyweight. So I'm playing Doom: The Dark Ages on pretty high settings. I'm not turning on the path tracing setting because that really does tank your frame rate. But this is one of those games that's like ray tracing is mandatory. It's just the thing now.
Yeah. I like that.
It's been designed with that in mind. It's pretty good, is what I would say. I think my fears about it are founded at the moment. Like I'm not enjoying off the again. I'm pretty early, but off the bat, I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as I did Doom Eternal, and I'm definitely not enjoying it anywhere near as I did Doom 2016. Like, I still much prefer 2016 to Eternal, and I prefer it over this so far. But I can see that they were trying. It's really obvious that they were trying to do something different this time, which is interesting. Because it is more. There's not a lot of unlike Eternal, which really went all in on the verticality approach. There's not a lot of verticality here at all. It's all kind of like bullet hell on a plane to an extent, which has kind of all of the positives and negatives you might imagine with it. Like, it places an emphasis on how you move through the environment, but laterally rather than vertically. And you being aggressive, the way you have to be aggressive, because that's modern Doom's core mechanic is be aggressive. It's the way to survive. The way you have to do that is different. Like, you now have a shield charge that just that locks onto an enemy. You hold your shield up, you right click, left click, and then you go rah, and just charge right at them. And the fodder enemies will just explode instantly. But bigger things will just be, then you'll be up in their face and you're up in their shit, and then you can do some stuff. But there's the like a power glove mechanic that has like charges, which is, I guess, the replacement for the chainsaw. But like, the chainsaw was like a get out of jail card in the previous games, whereas here it's like a core thing. You need to, like, it's powerful, but you need to be up there, and there's a 3-hit combo you can do, but you need all 3 melee charges charged. So you can only do that like once before you then have to back off again and try and build up the melee charges, either over time or by killing things, and that's the cycle of this one. It's not so much in Eternal, it was kind of shoot some stuff with guns, make sure you hit them with the flamethrower, make sure you get a glory kill in, fly away, rinse, repeat, try and do that on a loop, so you're doing all of the things to keep your timeouts high and your cooldowns up, and making sure you're restocking on ammo and armor and all that kind of stuff in a nice loop. Like, I haven't necessarily got the loop down, or what the required loop is for this yet, because that stuff is still sort of there. You can set stuff on fire with some weapons, and then they'll start dropping more armor because they're on fire, which is like the flamethrower from Eternal. But then you have to be using a specific weapon to do that. You don't just have something that makes fire this time, like on a button press.
So how do you get them on fire?
I have incendiary bullets upgraded on my shotgun currently, so it's a pretty early upgrade. But if I use the shotgun, then they'll set on fire. But that's if I use the shotgun, right? So I've got to go out of my way to do that. I haven't quite got the loop of like how to then charge up the melee strikes, because there's a glory kills they're not really here anymore. Like, enemies go into a staggered state, and if you do push the melee button on them, they will like one-hit kill, or they'll be damaged in some meaningful way. It doesn't necessarily mean you'll kill them all the time, but like you might damage them in a specific way, like take their armor off or something. But the problem with that is like, that's because that's on the same button as the melee strike. Sometimes, I don't know, my mind finds it hard to keep up with all the charges and cooldowns and stuff that's going on in such a high-speed, frantic game. I'll be pushing the button, and sometimes I'll be like, well, why didn't that work? And the same thing applies to your shield, because your shield, you can hold it up and tank some damage from the bullets and things like that, but your shield has a health pool of its own, so it can break, and then takes a while to recharge before you can use it again. And you're highly vulnerable during that state. And half the time I don't even notice when I've lost my shield. It just sort of it's just sort of gone. And it's like, wait, hey, why can't I do this? Wait, I'm dead.
So can you tell how close you are to losing your shield then?
I mean, there's a health bar on screen in all times, but it's in the bottom left of the screen where I'm never looking.
Yeah.
And I find it really difficult to read. You can also throw your shield out, which has a similar problem. Whilst it's throwing, and it can stick into bigger enemies to stun them in place. But but while you don't have it, you don't
God
have
of War
it.
Style.
Like,
yeah.
So
also any God of War style. Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. But yeah. So while it's in the enemy, you don't have it. So you need to, like, when you can use that feels sometimes a bit restricted. And then there's other things as well, like you can, like, if enemies have metal armor, you can superheat it by hitting it a bunch with your guns, and then if you throw the shield at it, it shatters and explodes. So you've got to be aware of combos like that. If enemies have energy shields, you can overload them with an energy weapon, which will shatter them and explode in things nearby. There's a lot going on. And it can sometimes be incredibly overwhelming and hard to keep up with, let alone know where everything is that could possibly hit you. Because I guess how you were playing previous Doom games is you were just kind of doing a route. You would do a lap of the arena, shooting things as you went by to an extent. Whereas that's not necessarily as effective a tactic here. So you can just I feel like you can get hit from unexpected angles far more often and just be like, okay, I'm not quite sure. I died, but I'm not quite sure how or why. Way more frequently, and it can be super frustrating at times. Because you're just like, I'm dead again, don't really know why, and then you'll do it again and be like, oh, I seemingly perfected that fight, but I don't really understand what I did different. I'm having a hard time finding the rhythm with it. I'm sure there is one, but it's at the moment it's hard to read. Oh, and there's green shit you can parry, because of course, if you put your shield up at the right time on a green thing, then it will just go bong and push that.
I mean, seeing any footage of this, it did look like the sort of traffic light system looked a little bit odd, like with the aesthetic of the game.
It's not as bad as I guess it first looked. So the green thing is obviously parryable attack. They'll have a little yellow flash. Enemies will have a little yellow halo when they're temporarily dazed. So that doesn't really mean shoot them now or anything. It just mean that there's not I don't think it's a weak point indicator or anything like that, as far as I can tell. It just seems to be this guy's literally downed for most of the time about 1 second. It's not a big window. It's almost meaningless. But it's just an indicator that they're in that state. And then the big purple outlines are for I guess what is the glory strike, I think they call them now, is not quite as garish as the extremely bright blue and red flashes that glory killable enemies had in the previous games. So it's some of it's more subtle actually. But at least on my rig, this game is incredibly good looking. I mean, it's good looking in the sense that everything's kind of dusty and brown and drab, but very high quality brown and drab.
Super high quality brown.
Yeah. I'm running it on
back to HD. Maybe this is Ultra HD. Back to brown.
Yeah, I'm running it on my PC 1440p with half nightmare, half high settings. There's ultra nightmare above it. I'm running with DLSS and quality as well, and obviously no path tracing, but it looks the business. And even with all those settings on a 5070, it still runs the business. I'm getting above 100 frames on it at all times, which is really nice, and exactly what you want for Doom.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a pretty good looking game. There's also I've done one of the Atlan sequences, which is, I'm going to say it's this game's equivalent of the Divine Beast sections from Hyrule Warriors.
Right. A non-rail shooter.
Kinda, yeah. It gives you're in one of the sort of these colossal ass things that just look like Doom Guy, but big. But you're and it simplifies the mechanics down to just punching things, basically. There's a little bit of punching, there's a little bit of dodging, but the mechanics are really simple, and they're you're normally facing really obvious supermassive enemies as well. So it's they end up being not very difficult, but nice brief distractions, I suppose, from the main game, which is fine. Just like the Divine Beast sections, they're not really anything to really shout about. You're not going back to do them, intentionally in Hyrule Warriors, right? They're not the thing you're going to come back to. But as a change of pace, yeah, it's fine. It's fine that they're there. So, I'm super early. There's a bunch more still to play, but that's what I'm doing. Oh, and also, the music's good, but hey, it's no Mick Gordon. Just saying. It's no Doom 2016. That still rips and tears. And I don't think I've forgotten much, so this is me handing over the podcast.
Zachary Burgess, what have you been playing?
Well, first, what haven't I been playing?
What haven't you played?
Which is also actually technically a tiny bit of news that I kind of didn't think was worth putting in the news section, but like announcements that are on my Steam news bar, I guess. Apparently, they're finally going to put out Speedrunners 2.
Oh, huh.
After however many goddamn years it's been.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It's a classic ancient indie game.
That game was cool.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't much to it. And
No,
I
but...
don't think there's going to be much more to Speedrunners 2 either. But...
Yeah, that game was cool. Another, like, I guess, things coming out announcements. We didn't talk about, like, Hades 2 is coming out this year. Like, it's coming out of early access. But we also didn't talk about, like, the Deep Rock Survivor has come out of early access.
Right, yeah.
Version 1 of that finally launched.
And it's on Game Pass.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, maybe. What am I doing?
Yep.
What am I doing playing Doom?
Maybe we might end up playing that.
Should give that a look.
And then in categories of things I technically have been playing, but like for 5 minutes, but also news, they've done another DLC for Rift of the Necrodancer.
Oh, cool.
And it's a Monster Cat pack.
Oh, nice.
But the funny thing about that is, it's like, when I'm listening to it, it's like, okay, so there's Rocket League music and just Shapes and Beats music. But obviously that's just because it's, you know, the Monster Cat music that everyone uses. But
wait, so are they bringing the same... Is it? You mean
yes,
it's like it's the same tracks?
From just Shapes and Beats.
Oh,
and the one from the classic one from Rocket League.
I mean, there's loads of
Monster.
Monster...
Tons of them, the really obvious one that is like the most famous one from Rocket League. And, for some reason, Crab Rave.
Hey, Crab Rave. I mean, Crab Rave's in Beat Saber, so you know.
but yeah, that's quite a weird thing to put in this game, I guess. At least the other deals, I mean, they done the other. You have the. I don't know. That, obviously, DLC was kind of always going to be weird for that game, unless it was just literally like the people who already made all the music for that game making more in the theme of more Necrodancer.
Right,
they didn't do a free DLC set that was just actual Crypt of the Necrodancer music, but not remixed, put into the game.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Charted.
Yeah.
And those are pretty cool.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, Rift kind of just opens the floodgates for anything being in it, though, really.
But then, like, so it made sense when it was like, okay, you've got the Celeste DLC pack, you've got the Pizza Tower DLC pack.
All right.
And it's like, okay, so these are like, obviously you're just having the classic indie crossover thing going on, like, just put in random music from these other games. But then it was like, now we've got the HoloLive VTuber music pack. And the Hatsune Miku music pack. And I'm like, okay, now you're getting kind of weird.
Yeah, is that thematically appropriate?
No, not really. Well, I suppose VTubers could exist in the Rift of the weird, like, modern day Rift of the Necrodancer story.
What if Doom 2016's music ended up being there? That would probably fit.
Yes.
Let's rip and tear.
Oh, and I thought there was obviously the first free one was the Meat Boy music, but that's just
Danny B. Yeah,
just porting some of his music in. Although they were remixes, they weren't just copies.
Cool.
But yes, the DLC packs are kind of strange. But now the Monster Cat one is like, this isn't even a theme.
It's Monster Cat.
Yeah, I guess. But the thing is, like, obviously,
it doesn't really come across in the music.
What are you going to put in the other portrait? The answer is
the Monster Cat.
Yeah, the logo. Yeah, it's like that's kind of not cool.
As long as it's like moving.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool.
And I believe I haven't actually seen it. You see it very briefly in the YouTube like preview DLC announcement video, and I assume it's real and not just faked for the video. But in the Crab Rave version, like there's like crabs as well on top of the Monster Cat doing the dance. It's just like, yeah, that's kind of funny, but
they should have added like a crab enemy.
Yeah, that is the thing. It's like there aren't any crabs.
Yeah.
It was the same thing about, what was that other song? Oh, well, no, I guess this was for a mod. Not mod. You know, had the workshop, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
There was a workshop track that someone uploaded, which was one of the Rhythm Heaven remixes. And in the Ribbon Heaven one, it uses a lot of spiders, but then there's no spiders in... there's no spider enemy in Rhythm Neck Dancer, so it couldn't even match that.
Right, yeah. Hey, you know what you just reminded me of?
Yeah.
Like games that aren't coming out this year.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything from that goddamn Professor Layton game still.
No. They didn't say anything about that in the Nintendo Direct.
No. I'm going to need to unpick it from my team. There's no way there's no way that's coming out.
Well, it might do.
There's no way
that's
that's
not
coming.
said anything about it.
No, I don't believe it at this point. There's no way that's coming out. Oh shit! Someone's going to counterpick it now.
Well, you've got to. Actually, how does that work in our bid system? I'm not sure. Can you...
We've got to do it soon. I think like November. I think is the cutoff.
Right. Yeah. And also, can you? If someone's bidding on your counterpick, can you counter that by bidding against your own counterpick? I don't think you can you?
No.
It's like if someone bids a counterpick and it's not between the people who can pick it, then it's just uncontested.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can put in a counter pick.
But what if you queue up to drop it in the same week that someone counterpicks it?
I would assume the counter pick trumps it.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
FantasyCritic.game, by the way. Like, yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's fun.
Things I have been playing. Things I have been playing but don't need to talk about too much, as usual, Rocket League. But I wanted to bring it up because the new season started, so obviously new things. Well, I say obviously, continuing the new tradition of Rocket League of, like, updating things which should have been in the game forever ago at this point.
Right.
Care to take a guess at what thing they put in this one? Because I say that because it's specifically something Rob has complained about before.
Oh, shit. You see, it's been so long since I played Rocket League, I've sort of forgotten my qualms. I mean, team colours, you said, had gone in.
Yeah, that one's
right. That was definitely one of them. Oh, mate, I forgot. I don't know.
It is, in fact, they've finally put 4v4 in competitive.
Hell yeah!
And not only that, they've made special maps for it as well that are bigger.
Hell yeah! Oh, I mean, less hell yeah, but like...
Yeah, I don't know about... I haven't actually tried it, so I don't know how much those bigger maps actually affect it. Because obviously the whole point of 4v4 is it was called Chaos for a reason.
Yeah.
But
that should have been their day bloody one. You're absolutely right, yes.
But the weird thing about it is that the announcement for this implies that it's only going to exist for this one season and it's going to go away.
Oh, well, screw you then.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Although that could also be implying that it's going to go into the rotation because the other modes like Snow Day and Drop Shot, though, and whatever the homing one's called, I forget what that one's called.
Oh, right, yeah.
Those aren't all available every season any longer. Like they rotate out of the competitive playlists.
Right. So they've
this season, like
because
Snow
they used to
Day
have,
is out and Drop Shot is in.
They used to have their own subcategory, didn't
Yeah.
they? Like, but they were competitive essentially.
Yes, they're always competitive ranked playlists, but now they rotate them in and out. I guess again, so they're not splitting the population of players so much.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask about that. How healthy is Rocket League these days?
I don't know.
Do you think it's down some?
Well, probably. I mean, I guess queue times are starting to look slightly longer. That's about the only indication that I see is like how long it's going to take to get into a match. And it's been creeping up from 30 seconds to 40 seconds.
Right. Because it would kind of make sense. Like, if the population is starting to dwindle, this is when you start breaking out rotations.
Yes. But also, like, now you're patching in all this new shit that should have always, like, would have been more important when lots of people were playing it.
Yeah. It is mildly annoying.
And they've also reorganised the Rocket Pass to make it so that you can get back all your credits within 70 levels, within the normal limit of the Rocket Pass.
Right.
What they consider the normal limit. So you no longer have to go past 70 to get the credit back.
Yeah, okay.
It's all within the up to 70.
That's still too much of a commitment for me these days.
Well, sure.
Sorry.
So that's Rocket League. For the video we played Against the Storm, video coming up soonish.
It's a fun video.
And so I played a little bit more of that by myself, obviously. Actually on a separate save, I just started completely fresh again. Just in case we want to go back to a follow-up video, not that I think we will, but
sure.
never know.
Gotta finish the biscuit dream.
Well, exactly. But that was the funny thing about it, was because, like, so in the video version, we had the Biscuit Dream where we got there was an upgrade that we got right at the start that makes it so when you make biscuits, it improves your farming of.
But we didn't have any farmland.
But we never found the fertile farmland to build.
Spoilers for the video.
Yeah, we never found the fertile farmland to build the farms, even though we had the farms. But then, hilariously, when in my own game, I had almost not really the opposite problem, but a similar problem where I was playing on a map where in the starting glade there wasn't any food except for farmland, and then I never got farms.
Oh.
And then, like, every other glade they opened also had farmland. And I was like, holy shit, there's all this farmland, but I never actually got a farm building to be able to farm on any of it.
Weird.
I mean, I actually thought that I might lose that run in that situation, especially because the literal starting zone didn't have any food. Like, that's kind of rare. Like, it was only the farmland that would have been theoretically... So I had to, like, immediately dig into another glade and be like, holy shit, find me any food at all.
What is loss in that? Like, as in... Like, if your town dies for some reason. Like, and what does that mean for the greater run?
Well, I can't...
Does the run end, like, just there?
No, I can't remember whether the town stays there or is fully removed off the world map, or whether you can still... like, go to the next spaces, but it doesn't count as a town any longer. I don't know about that part of it. But the main thing is that however many years you spent on that town is still elapsed before the end of the cycle.
Right, yeah. So it's effectively wasted time.
Yeah, essentially. In your progress towards getting to the seals or whatever.
Man, that must be really annoying.
Yeah, probably. I don't think I've ever actually failed a town.
Okay.
But yeah, I played a tiny bit more of that, and I may continue. I've relearning it, working out what the fish ponds were about. We didn't even touch in the video, but it is just another weird food option. It's a slightly weirder food option because, for some reason, you can't extract fish over time. You have to fish the entire pond dry and then get all of it at once.
Oh, weird. What? So throw a lightning fruit into the pond, basically.
If only. It'd be much quicker. No, it's basically a weird food source where you have to commit the workers to it for a long time, but you don't get anything until the whole thing comes in at once at the end. Sort of like a farm, except even more long term than the one season of a farm. Strange.
So, very unsustainable fishing.
Yes. Super unsustainable. The whole pond disappears.
A whole ecosystem ruined.
Not that this whole world doesn't get completely regenerated every cycle anyway. Yeah, that was Against Storm. I played some more No Man's Sky, but not on my main save, because I was like, maybe I can finally go for the achievement of getting to the centre of the galaxy in permadeath. Because I've got most of the achievements in No Man's Sky, apart from, like, the permadeath run, the survival mode run, and I think one of the milestones for, like, surviving super long on hostile worlds or whatever, because that's just a time thing.
Right.
You just have to stand around on hostile worlds forever.
Is it, like, a cumulative one?
Yes,
or is it like, okay, so you'd have to do it, like, in one?
Yes, no. So I was like, maybe I can do the permadeath run, because I've never wanted to try and do it before, because there was like, No Man's Sky always had too many, like, bugs that might just kill you. And it was like how I always thought about doing an Iron Man run on XCOM, but that game had too many bugs that might just fuck everything.
Yeah,
I was like, that's just not going to be fun if that happens.
Sure.
But in the permadeath run in No Man's Sky, I was like, yeah, I think this is probably safe enough that I can do it. And I know a lot about the game in general, so I can be, like, careful about how I'm going through things and doing things. Not that careful, though, because I keep nearly dying from fall damage. Because I'm too enthusiastic about chucking myself across the map using the melee boost.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that. But the weird thing about the permadeath run is it used to be much harder as well, because the old way, in fact, the wording of the achievement, it says you have to get to the centre of the galaxy. And previously, you actually literally had to. Like, you had to fly to the center of the galaxy using the warps and the black holes and all those mechanics. But now you can actually just finish the storyline, and that counts.
Oh, okay.
Because it still does the same sequence, essentially, as if you'd warp to the center of the galaxy, where you go through the middle of the galaxy and then come out in the new galaxy or whatever. So that counts, so that makes that achievement slightly easier. And so I did that run, and I'm sort of almost there. I've got to the point... I mean, I guess I've got to the end of the story where Rob was, where all I have to do is just warp around until I get all the glyphs.
Okay. I mean, that's part of where I was.
Yes.
I was still doing the
other stories.
Yeah. The Atlas stuff.
But yeah, theoretically, all I have to do now in this permadeath run is just do a few more warps until I get all the glyphs, and then I can trigger the final portal sequence, and that should be it. In theory. But yeah, that was a secondary run on No Man's Sky. Not that I was doing anything on my main at this point anyway. I'd done the Corvette expedition, and all I was doing was upgrading my town, so wasn't really wasting my main saves time. And then the last thing was Vintage Story. Played quite a lot more. Not very much in multiplayer. We just didn't have much time to get together to do the multiplayer run on that. But I did some more single player on the vanilla settings, and I've got up to like iron and stuff. But I still haven't done any of the story, even though I could have. Well, I feel like, again, I don't really know because I don't know what dangers there's going to be, but I feel like I could have already been doing the story. The trouble was it was winter.
Right.
And in order to get to the story, you have to like travel quite a long way. Like I purchased the map that gives you the location, so I know where I have to go, but it's still like a probably 3-day trip. So I'm going to have to bring a bunch of food to survive the trip, and I'm going to have to bring enough food to stay there for however long it's going to take to get through this whole dungeon thing. And then I was considering, like, do I want to build, like, essentially a small base out there to have a bed and a cellar and stuff to be able to survive longer out there? But yeah, it was the middle of the winter, and I was like, I can't... I mean, technically I'm not in any danger from the cold, because, like, I have enough winter clothes that I can stand outside at, like, minus 20 degrees and be fine. Although, even... It's slightly strange, because you don't... If you have enough cold protection on your clothes, it doesn't make you feel cold, so you don't, like, die of hypothermia or whatever. But you do still consume more food. So, like, you're consuming more energy, I guess. Mm-hmm. So even though you have the clothes to resist the heat, you are still consuming more food regardless, if you're in negative temperatures. But then, obviously, the other trouble with travelling in winter is there's just a bunch of snow and it makes you move slower. So I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this in winter. I'll wait until spring comes around and then it'll be much easier to deal with. To just walk 3 days across the world to get to this place. But then that gave me some more time in the winter to finish preparing, make more iron shit. Because iron is a whole process. And I've also been thinking about... I've got the cloth grade armour, and I was originally thinking about making chainmail. But as I was going around talking to traders and stuff, occasionally certain traders will sell this like ruined armor that's from like the before times or whatever, in the story of that game. You can get this ruined armor and then you can repair that, and it's actually better than the armor you can make if you fully repair it. Mm. So instead of making, normally what I would do would be make iron chainmail. But then I managed to find the 3 pieces from the traders of the iron-based ancient armor, essentially. So I'm like, now I can use the iron to repair that instead. So I started working on that. He said it's actually way more iron than making chainmail yourself, because it's actually counted as plate armor, which means it has a chainmail under and then plate mail on top. Yeah. So it's like double layer of iron. That's quite a lot of fucking iron.
So much iron.
And you have to make plates out of it as well, rather than ingots. It's quite awkward. Because when you take the iron ore, you shove it in the bloomery, which smelts it into an iron bloom, and then what you have to do with that is then put that on the anvil and like chip off all the slag crap from the outside and form it into an ingot. But then, in order to make a plate, you then have to take an ingot and then flatten it down and then put another ingot on to give you enough metal to work with to flatten it into a full plate. So it's like this, to even do that, it's like this 3-step process of like taking the bloom, chipping all the stuff up and turning it into an ingot, and then taking the ingots and turning them into plates. Which is kind of a lot of metal work to be doing. Although you can automate it with the helve hammer that's just like it's just a hammer that automatically strikes. You just shove the ingots in there and it automatically turns it into a plate. But that only works if there's enough wind to power the windmill.
Is it very quietly going? No,
it's very loudly going dong, 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 dong constantly.
Of course it is.
But yeah, that only works when it's windy. So then you have the problem of like, if you light up all your forges and shit, you're burning all this coal and heating up the iron ingots, and then it suddenly stops being windy. It's like, well, that was a waste. And then in the meantime, I like build a greenhouse and stuff. Like you can build specifically if you build an enclosed room where more than 50% of the ceiling is glass, it counts as a greenhouse. Which means that any farm tiles inside there basically have like a plus 5 degrees buff to their temperature. So you can grow crops at a lower outside temperature. Although, to be honest, 5 degrees isn't really helping that much when it's like minus 20. Because plants stop growing at 0. So
right, yeah.
Until it even gets to minus 5, even the greenhouse isn't going to help me. But yeah, winter is nearly over. I'm in like the start of February now. I guess I'm in the last month of winter, really. Which means technically I've nearly survived a whole year in that world because you start in March when you start a new game. Because obviously they don't start you in winter. They start you in spring to give you enough time to do anything at all before you die. And as ever, I've stored up far too much food. It's like you prepare for the winter, fill up your cellar with preserved foods and whatnot, and then by the time you get out with you, you're like, oh, I only ate like half of that. But then again, I probably will need all those sealed pots for the trek across the world to this dungeon, so maybe it's fine that I made far too much for winter. I'll actually need more of it when I'm travelling. So that's Vintage Story. And in the modern version, we're also sort of getting to iron at this point, even though we haven't had as much time to play it. But, there's other shit to do with the mods. Other shit that I'm not doing, like the magic. I'm not getting involved in that. Which is funny.
Probably wise.
Which is funny because when you look at items that are from the magic mod and you haven't progressed through the magic tech tree, the item description is just replaced with like, this is unknowable. You cannot understand what the fuck you're looking at.
Cannot comprehend the madness before me.
And so far the magic hasn't seemed super useful. From what I've gleaned from it going on around me, it's like, this just seems like really inconvenient. Because you have to like build up your mana gradually by doing more and more magic over time, but the magic like affects your temporal stability, which is like your sanity meter or whatever, and if that gets too low you just start taking damage. So it's like, how much magic can you do before you have to like sit down for a while? Basically.
Sort of makes sense.
Kind of, yeah. But I don't know what the end goal of this magic is. Like, what is going to be the real bonuses? Because so far it doesn't seem to be doing much for us.
Dragons.
Well, maybe.
Really square dragons.
Or moderately square dragons. It's not quite as Minecraft as Minecraft.
Moderately square.
Geometric dragons.
Yeah, and that was what I played. Maybe I'll get to something different shortly. Because I keep looking at my Game Pass and being like, yeah, there's all these games that I really should get to.
Yeah, I know.
What's on your list then?
Oh, I mean, I should probably play Blueprints. And
Oh man, yes, sorry, yes, I should play that. I'm a bit hyped for that.
And then I also, keep thinking that maybe I should play Hollow Knight, the original.
Oh, definitely play Hollow Knight. Yeah, from the sounds of it, Silk Song might be a bit of the difficulty spike might be a bit much.
Well, but if I roll straight from Hollow Knight to Silk Knight,
you'll probably be all right. Yeah.
That'll probably work well.
If you could, because Hollow Knight's not a short game. Yeah.
There's a lot of games to get through if I was going to do that.
You've got some time though.
Yeah, but not always for that kind of game.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I've still never fucking got around to playing Pizza Tower again.
Right.
One day, I'll get to that. And Dead Cells. Literally never have started Dead Cells.
Because they're a bit too intense.
Yeah. It's just like, sometimes I don't want to do that much intensity.
Yeah, you have got a leaning towards more chill.
Yes. But also, like, I guess you could argue also controller games.
Right.
Like, sometimes that is also its own situation.
Yeah, especially if you sat at a PC desk.
Yeah.
It's can be less appealing.
Am I ever on the verge of dying controller? It's still alive.
So it's a 360 controller?
Yes, it is a 360.
It's not like there aren't good alternatives now.
Yeah, but determining which ones are good are the problem.
An 8-bit dough. That seems to be like the go-to for PC now.
But I don't want an alternative. I just want a 360 controller.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's the actual problem.
I mean,
like, if I liked the Xbox One controller, I'd buy one of those, but I don't.
I like the Bone and Series X controllers, but they are in no way as durable as the 360 controller. Those things are hardy.
Can you just use the Switch Pro controller on the PC? I think you
can. You can, yeah, with a bit of hackery. I mean, I've managed to get the Wii U Pro controller working on Windows, so it's, you know, not myself. The community's obviously come up with ways, but I mean, I might actually have to start using like proper controllers with Windows, because I've been using my PlayStation 3 controller with Windows for ages, but that seems I just can't get the tricks to get it to work properly on Windows quite right. Like, some of the buttons don't quite function as neatly as they used to, and I can't get my PlayStation 4 controller to work properly either. So that's just a shame, because those do have like pretty good support on Steam Deck and things like that.
Right,
but just and I think Steam might be what's conflicting with the tools I'm trying to use. Maybe Steam on Windows is doing some of the legwork. I don't know, but like, for whatever reason, it's not quite working for me. So I don't know. I just like having controllers. Man, controllers are rad. So it's like, it's not like I'm not short of options for a controller I could use on Windows, but it's there's a bit of me that's just like, well, I've got all these old controllers from old consoles that, you know, like my PlayStation 3 controllers. It's like the probability of me getting the PlayStation 3 out to do stuff on is pretty low, I would say. I'm not in that nostalgia realm for it yet, but like...
Actually, Zach, I was literally clearing up a drawer earlier, and I have two, not one, but two 360 controllers. So if you need one, obviously, you will have to... Do you have the wireless dongle thing?
No, that would be the problem.
I mean, I've got one.
They're wireless. They're not wired. Yeah. I might have that dongle somewhere if you need that too. But yeah, I'll try and dig it out.
Do they still definitely need that? Like, you can't just Bluetooth it?
No.
Because it's not
No, they're not
Bluetooth in
Bluetooth,
360s.
But I mean, Bluetooth wasn't actually added to Microsoft controllers until halfway through the Xbone cycle. Like, original Xbone controllers aren't Bluetooth; they are proprietary wireless still.
But has Microsoft not updated to put that into Windows? like Xbox Live?
No, I think
No,
I think they need a new receiver. Yeah. It's like some of the 8-bit dough ones, right? They actually recommend, they do have Bluetooth capabilities, but they come with a little 2.4 gigahertz receiver, right? It's like, no, this is better than Bluetooth, so use this.
You know what's better than all of that? Fucking wire. That's why I always bought them Windows Xbox 360 controllers.
I think 8-bit dough do have some wired options, but not for their like really good controllers. But there are still some people out there that make wired variants, but you know, they're not the official ones. I guess they're not an official Microsoft controller.
I keep hoping that like Xbox 360 controllers are just going to turn up at the charity shop and then I can just
it's like I'll have those
directly from there. But the problem is, in that case, they'd probably be a real skank.
Hey, I wandered into Needham Sue Rider the other day.
Right.
Nothing of interest. Like,
well, it wouldn't be for you. Maybe some kind of CD.
Oh, I mean, mate, I did look at that. Yeah, the Blu-ray collection, just in the hope that there might be a copy of Fast and Furious 9. But like,
did I tell you I was looking around a kind of flea market type thing last year? I think, and it's like, why does anyone want any of this crap? And I saw one thing which was literally like a Parappa the Rapper branded like little toy like bus or something in original packaging or something, and I was like, oh well, at least there's one thing which I can get that Rob would be interested or something. But they knew what they knew, so it was like 200 quid or something. It was like, what? No.
Wow. Okay.
I can't remember, but I remember being like, oh, I know what this is. Oh, they know.
I get like,
damn it.
I get like videos on my Facebook feed every night, or reels, I suppose, of like this guy who supposedly does like car boot hunting, and it's like, these have all got to be staged, right? Like, there's no way you'd find that for 50p. It's one of those things, it's just like, I guess, I guess it will happen that people don't know what they're buying or selling some of the time, but it's like, it seems to that guy seems to find stuff with such frequency that it's just like, this can't be real.
Very sus.
Yeah.
And same situation with what Dan said. It's just like, in the modern world, you just fucking look it up and then you know what the price is.
Exactly.
Yeah, then
You just take a picture with your phone and ask AI to find out
most
what it is.
people-
Yeah.
See.
I mean, it's not. I can't remember where it was. One of the fairly major charity shop chains where they just straight up told me once. It's like, yeah, if we get any video game stuff in, we actually just sell it to CEX.
Well, video games in our charity shop just go onto eBay. They don't go into the shop.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
well, you have to give me like a hot tip if you see anything good.
But I have been keeping an eye out on since I'm in the electronics, but there's not really anything that interesting.
I mean, I might take some shit as well. I did buy
some
RC Pro Revenge or whatever the crap that game's called
We've had
recently.
some PS3s and whatnot that I've looked at occasionally. Of course, it's hard to test a console when you don't have a TV to plug it in. It's like you turn it on and see if the light turns on, and that's it.
Oh boy, okay.
see if you can hear the disk drive spin, and that's about all I can do.
Yeah. I think, the PlayStation 3 era, at least they knew they were when they were plugged into HDMI, right? So they probably give you a yellow light warning if they're not plugged in.
Yeah, that's it. That's probably the end of this podcast.
It's probably the end of the podcast. It's quite a long one. Thanks to our Zelda spoiler-thon.
A debrief.
Yep.
Debrief, finally. Okay. Check out our YouTube channel, Wipeout 64 on there now.
Yes.
It's a anti-grav racer in the line of them. Check it out.
It's a Wipeout game.
It's a Wipeout game, technically, although not that Wipeout ever had good frame rate, but at the time. But
I had to put some corrections on that video. It's like, 'cause it was actually Psygnosis made. It was all internal.
properly above board. Yeah. So check that out and check out our corrections to our Wipeout lore, and also coming soon. Against the Storm. Yeah. And so look out for that. And we'll be back here in 2 weeks with another Saladcast. So we'll catch you then.
For the bants.
Bye.